Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Great state of Tennessee has a couple racetracks in this lovely state. It looks like an arrow pointing to the right. One of those racetracks I love to death is going to be Nashville Superspeedway. That's where we're at here live for the full-length Cup Challenge here on Maconi Entertainment for the Battle of the Bands 400. We're going to have ourselves one hell of a race day, and I hope y'all stick around and be able to watch along with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I got myself Kirk Mills alongside me. It's going to be Ron Mons up here in the booth. And Morgan Cook, our fantastic producer, as always, is going to be running the show in the background. Again, it's a pleasure to have you all here with us at Nashville Superspeedway. Got ourselves a great lineup for this race here tonight. Multiple cars, a lot of different teams trying to come out here and compete to be the best of the best on a track that's really difficult to pass and a very, it rewards patience. Now I got to ask Ron, what is your key to be able to get around Nashville this week?
Well, you know, I'm thinking back to what we saw last night in the Friday Night Lights series, where that race was kind of one of two halves. First half, just trying to manage your stuff, stay clean, and just try and whittle the laps away. Then we got towards the end, and it was pure pandemonium breaking out here. With these Cup cars, I feel like this is going to be a much tougher track to try and manage. So I think I'm going to echo the sentiment that I said about 24 hours ago. It is a key of survival. These drivers just have to stay with it. The old racing adage to finish first you have to finish is really popping in my head. There's a lot of different pitfalls for these drivers around this track, so I think just trying to survive is going to be the main agenda on everybody's cards here tonight.
Happy to hear it. Survival's always good, and it's going to be hard tonight. You got 13X as an incident limit. It's kind of wild. Take a look at last week, though. Charlotte. Holy cow, what a finish to that race. Jonathan Delaney ended up getting the job done. Great battle between him and I believe it was one of the Ryko cars going out there and getting it done in second place there. But look at this point standings for the team standings. My God, 1471, 1451. They are neck and neck for this team standings. It's going to be really cool once we get towards the end of the season for sure. Now, why don't we go ahead real quick and see if we can't pull up our starting lineup here in a moment for tonight's race. It's going to be really fun. And it's also a special paint week. We're going to have bands and music on the sides of the car. Some teams have decided to shoot out to those folks. So it's going to be really cool. We're going to look at that throughout the entirety of the broadcast, different paint schemes, throwing it to music and bands. It's going to be awesome. Well, why not take a look at our starting grid? Here we go on the pole. It's Jonathan Delaney, last week's winner, getting it done. Right alongside him, it will be Jacob Quill in the 77 machine. Starting in third this week will be Dylan Basin in the 06. Right alongside will be Andrew Dyson in the 41. Starting in the 5th place spot will be Alex Coffey in the 54 machine, right alongside Alex Murray in the 22. Starting in 7th tonight will be Robert Miller in the 15, alongside Lucas Hoitzma in the 97. And rounding out our top 10, Ralph Hutchinson will start in 9th in the 19 machine, and to the outside will be Paul Hill in the 26.
And going by the 10s and looking outside of your top 10, it's Joseph Galata starting this race in 11th next to Sean Conklin in 12th. Right behind them, we'll see Nolan Hodgson in the 12th machine next to MDW Matthew David Wood starting this race in 14th spot. Starting this race in P15 will be Corey Moore. Next to him will be Paul Gallimore. Right behind on row number 9 will be June Seo Lim next to Hunter Trull. And then running at your top 20 here tonight will be Dustin Hall and Adam Benefiel.
Starting out in 21st, Tyler Hunter alongside Casey Graves in the 01 for 21st, 22nd. 23rd, Nicholas Isaacs. Right across will be Kevin Zosiak in the 37. Starting in 25th tonight will be Timothy Harper and Neil Pearson starting 26. 27th will be Blake Giglio in the 8 car alongside Tanner Marty in the 29. Starting in 29th place tonight, Brandon Hastings in the 81, and Jose Medina will round out your top 30 starters in the 40. 31st will be Stephen Williams alongside Devin Medeiros in the 20. Starting in 33rd will be Dave Hoitzman getting 8th yesterday, alongside Sean O'Brien Jr. in the 65. Finally rounding out your field, Nicholas Roman has a long way to go to the front, and he's got the start right next door to William Owens in the 30. That is your full field for tonight, as we are now in the front straightaway, coming to get one lap before we go green. Quick thoughts, Ron. What do you think these drivers got to do in this first stage?
Well, I think, as I said, the theme of the night is going to be survival, but in this first stage, I think it's going to be adjusting to this track. We talked about it a heck of a lot last time. We're going to talk about it again here. There's nothing like Nashville Super Speedway in the NASCAR world. It drives a bit like a short track. It's shaped and sized like an intermediate. It's named like a super speedway. This track is a geological oddity. So to get this race up and rolling, these drivers are just going to look to find a way to lock in for the rest of tonight. Settle down, relax, crack open a can of whatever soft drink you want, and just try and remain cool and collected for these 300 laps.
Well, you can see that race info right there. Lap 90, stage 1, stage 2, 185. 9 sets of tires. They got to take care of them tires. And 13X cannot get in a lot of wrecks, folks. But here we go through turns 3 and 4. We are going to get this thing started. Jonathan Delaney leading them down. Reach down, pull them belts tight. One more time, folks. Pace car is going to dive down into the pit road. And here comes Jonathan Delaney and Jacob Quill side by side through that restart zone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing from Nashville, boys. Jacob Quill making a move to the lead. He's got it from second place. Jonathan Delaney now battling side by side with Basin for second as they are 3 and 4 wide heading out of turn number 4 for the complete lap number 1. To the line, it is Jacob Quill leading lap number 1.
And I'm not sure if Jonathan Delaney is battling Dylan Basin. More so, he's battling his car. That number 6 car looked evil firing off into turn 1 and 2 to start off this race.
Absolutely. It looked absolutely handling wild out of the gate. Did not hang on to the lead. Fell back all the way to third. Got a long way to go. Look how close these cars are to each other. They got to get settled in. You can see Lucas Hoitzma, last night's winner in the Friday Night Lights Series, trying the outside line on Alex Murray for position.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be tame. It is not. Side-by-side formation flying off through turn number 1 and 2. Fighting it out hard. That right there. Oh, my goodness me.
Yeah, he leaned on the door at 22. He'd get up into the inside of that 97. A little bit of racing contact. Ain't nothing. Keep that car going straight. Caution's going to be out on the racetrack early on in this thing. And I got to tell you right now, it's the 2 car of Nicholas Isaacs in turns 3 and 4 who has gone around. Let's take a look and see what happened. Here we go. You see the 2 car on the bottom of the racetrack. He was towards the back of the field early in this one. Little loose behind him. They were able to save the car, but what happened to the 2? Into turns 3 and 4. Oh, a little contact there from, I believe that may have been Zodiac.
And unfortunately, there with the side-by-side racing going on a little bit farther up the road, just stacked up the field, and eventually somebody was going to make contact with somebody else. Unfortunately for Isaacs and Zodiac, it was those two coming to blows. Let's take a look at here, not to mention this sideways snap from the 23 hang out the turn. But hang down the back straightaway, there's the 2 right in the slipstream, right in the coattails. 37 senses the opportunity, goes for the dive, misjudges it a bit, and contact is made. Very lucky that nobody else got involved in that, although the 81 did scrape the wall a bit.
Yeah, and also that 2 car got a lot of rear end damage. Definitely not a comfortable situation. He didn't do anything wrong. Nicholas Isaacs didn't. So unfortunate for him to get this race started with a little bit of contact there. And folks, I do want to let you know, while we're looking up here at the front row here, take a look at that 77 machine. Last week we saw him driving for a different team, but guess what? Things have changed. He has now been driving. I just got confirmation from owner of Ryco. He just told me that Jacob Quill is now part of Ryco. So there you go. New driver for Ryco. And it's going to be our leader. Followed by a teammate right there in his back bumper. And then you got, of course, the 6 car Delaney right there in third, who fell back on that first restart. What happened to the 6? Can we go back and look at the initial lap 1 for the 6 car, just to see what happened in turn 1 and 2, if we have the ability? All right, since I know we got a little bit of time, I think this would be something that's worth taking a look at. Lap number 1 is what we're looking for.
I gotta say, that start was absolutely catastrophic for him. Really, it was just an atrocious run through turn number 1 and 2 that tripped him up, and then from there, just never found a way to settle into the groove. Hopefully this restart's a bit of a reset for him.
Yeah. I'm hoping so too. That 6 car just did not get the launch on the start. Normally you see that work out really well for the leader. Leader's able to get a big jump, but this time it just didn't happen. So we don't actually have the cut. We'll have to put it in the highlights section. So we'll make sure we go back and look at that in the highlights section. It's okay. All good here. We'll make it work. We got side by side for the restart already in turns 1 and 2. We got a ways to go before this restart. But now knowing how that restart went with the 6 car, it was not pretty. So what we got to find out is that a driver problem, or was that the line restart problem? Because I think that 77 who ended up taking the lead. So what happened is the 6 car dove it into turn number 1, slid up the hill, and the 77 was able to do an under-over move and pass him right on by in an almost 3-wide pass, as the 6 did not carry any momentum on the exit. So let's see what the 77 does. If that 06 teammate gets a good jump, maybe we see something similar. Let's find out. At a turn number 4, again, top 2, Jacob Quill, Dylan Basin, followed by Delaney and Dyson. They're going to get to that restart zone, and we're going to get this race back underway. We've got a long way to go, folks. Back underway. Great jump from the 77.
And I'm keeping my eye on the 6, hang down to turn number 1 and 2. We saw that catastrophic start to this race. Look a lot more composed this time around. Unlike the initial start where that car was driving around like a hungover dandelion, he's now holding on to third comfortably.
A little bit of contact in the middle of the field, guys. A lot of guys making contact all over the dang place right here.
And not nearly as crazy as it was before.
Yeah, it's true. And it's starting to get a little bit downhill. It's side by side for the lead up front. Take a look at that. Teammates, Jacob Quill and Dylan Basin side by side. Basin has to fall back in line. Has to find another way around his teammate. Nope, not going to work on the bottom. We've heard from the Cup guys and from the B-Class cars. It's so hard to make a pass on the bottom. Oh, they're wrecking. There goes the 12 car. Nolan Hodgson, big crash. I see 5 cars, all with damage on the front straightaway. I see Matthew David Wood facing the wrong way. Kevin Zosiak involved again in the 37. What happened back here to bring out a caution? The second one in the first 10 laps of this event.
You could see the hornet's nest that these drivers already found themselves in just a few laps beforehand. Whenever you see a situation like this here, Kirk, the main thought that goes through my head is pretty much just run and hide. It is pure pandemonium here, and you know it's only going to get worse with drivers stacked up. You can see the 26, I believe that was Paul Hill, tripped up, heading his way out of 4, and I think that may have been the catalyst for these drivers piling in.
Well, we're going to find out together here. 12 car Nolan Hodgson tries to send it 3 wide, 15 goes down the block, and there you go. 16 had nowhere to go. Let's see if we can look at that again from high above. I think that would tell us more. 37 had nothing to do with that one on this case. To the blimp, that should show us a little bit more. I think, judging from what I saw from high above, that 15 didn't know he was 3 wide when he was racing with these guys. So he came down thinking the 12 was trying to get down low on him, and he thought he had room because the 12 was kind of pushing him there. But he was in the middle 3 wide. 15 thought he wasn't. That's what's caused this accident here. There's a car I would love to ride on board with, that pink car that just barely missed it. Let's see if we can't grab and see who that was. I think it was a 71. 71. Yeah. He kind of had one hell of a view of this thing right here. He didn't hit, I don't think he hit much of anything. We'll take a look at it right here, right now. Here's Truel. He's driving the Queen machine this week. He's going to see some smoke come out of nowhere. Oh, boy, hit the brake. He's on a brake. He hit the wall a little bit. But look, he avoided all the cars. That's nothing. That car can get fixed. That's fine. Good driving out of that 71 to avoid the wreck.
You know, it's a bad time to bring up Don't Stop Me Now reference. He was able to stop it quite well, heading down to turn number 1, though. Bit of brakes, bit of wall contact, and works out pretty all right.
That was a brilliant reference, Ron. Heck yeah, Don't Stop Me Now. That was good. I like that. Having a good time? I don't know about that. That looked like fun, but I don't know if I'd want to be behind a wheel. But I can tell you that we're going to get another one of these restarts, but it's a little odd. Normally this racetrack, there's 1 of 2 ways these races can go. Long, clean, and green all the way through the dang race, or you get what we're getting right here, 2 wrecks in the first 10 laps. I mean, it'd be surprising if we got a mix, but I mean, I think that's what the race control would love to see. They'd love to see clean and green all the way through. But so far, it's been kind of chaotic here. Not a lot of room to maneuver. And very fast racetrack. One small mistake is enough to take out a lot of cars. But if we look right now on the scoreboard, Nicholas Isaacs has returned to the track. He's 5 laps down, as Nolan Hodgson currently sits in pit road 2 laps and probably going to lose another. And those are the only 2 cars I see lap down at the moment. Matthew David Wood, Jose Medina, and Nicholas Vroman all continue out there on the racetrack. 16 looks destroyed. My good God. I hope that car can get fixed. It's good it happened early, don't you think, Ron?
Yeah, no, you have the time to work on that car a little bit, get the dents hammered out, make it look, you know, it's not going to look factory fresh no matter what you do with it, but make it run a little bit okay, because that damage on the front end of it as well, the handling's going to go away. It looks gross. It is just a bad deal there for those drivers that got a piece of that incident. So at the moment, I think it is very good that it happened in the first 12 laps of this race. In a better world, it wouldn't have happened at all, but better now than ever.
Definitely worth a look for sure. Hopefully that damage can get repaired, but we're going to go ahead and get another restart, folks. Oh boy, hang on to your seats. You don't know what's going to happen. We're going to find out together. Restart zone. We're back underway. Not a great jump this time, but a great push from Delaney to the back bumper of the 77. They're fanning out into turn number 1. 3 wide already for multiple lanes. Almost 4 wide.
Oh, these drivers, gotta say, they're playing with fire here in Nashville as they're still side by side. Jacob Quill breaking away. Dylan Bassett and Delaney not breaking away from each other.
17's way up there on the top. Look at Sean. Oh, 41's loose. He saves the race car. That man is a wheelman. I have said it once. I'll say it again. 41 Andrew Dyson. That car, that driver can drive anything sideways and keep it thing looking good. That's amazing. We'll look back at that here in a little bit, but we still got chaos up front as the 97's off the pace. Something happened to the 97, losing multiple spots down the back. Oh no, we got to keep looking at this right now. We can't look at a replay quite yet. I think we got to wait until this settles because this is still kind of chaotic. Leaning on each other still, loose all over the racetrack. Tires are still getting up to temperature. And Junsa Lim in the 67 out there making a good run as well. Trying to go super high, making it 3 wide again on the outside of Coffee and the 99.
Man, these drivers are battling as if they're being dangled over a hot pot of oil. This is madness at the moment, side by side throughout the field. Nobody giving each other an inch and no driver expecting an inch out of their competition. 3 wide racing right behind, though. Look at this hornet's nest in the mid-pack. These drivers not giving each other a single bit of room to judge.
Oh my goodness. I think now's probably a good time to take a look at that replay if we have it ready. All right, looking again at the 41 of Andrew Dyson, who had a hell of a slide just a little bit ago. We're going to take a look at that here right now. The save I've seen of the race so far. Keeping an eye on live as well to make sure we don't miss anything. But that 41, watch this right here. It may be right here. Nope, it may have been a lap prior or a lap after. Let's see. We'll still go and check it either way. The highlights will have it 100%. But let's see how this one goes. All right, maybe I think this is it right here, folks. This looks like it. This looks a lot like it. 41. Here we go. He's loose. He got contact from the 99, and he saved that car. Beautiful save. And he lost a lot of spots, but he gained a lot of repetition as we got a side-by-side battle for the lead right now live. And it looks like Basin. Hoytsma got doored by Hill, got sent up the hill, and lost a lot of positions. But up front for this lead, this battle is between 3 cars, and it is chaotic. Basin was able to make his way around Jacob Quill for the lead as the 17 of Sean Conklin, all 3 teammates, are now in 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, so Basin muscling his way up to that top spot. Conklin right behind him. You know, he's going to try and apply some pressure here right now. Jacob Quill, kind of the meat in the sandwich, unfortunately, there. You know, that he's going to try and put himself in a better situation very, very soon. Looking at the battling right behind, though, this is Joseph Galata and Jonathan Delaney. Delaney, after that rough start in this race, looking to make up some ground and try and stop the bleeding before it gets out of hand. He holds on to 5th at the current moment, but that 99 just got a move put on him not too long ago. Hoping that he doesn't feel some pressure from Paul Hill very soon.
For sure. Now we're starting to get settled in, though. It's starting to look a little bit better throughout the field. There is still some side-by-side racing I'm looking at right now. Giglio and the 20 car of Devin Medeiros, who started 32nd, has moved up to 20th. Huge gains for that 20 machine. Who else has been moving up the field? Let's take a look and see of our biggest movers if we have the opportunity to take a look at that right there. Medeiros, top of the board. I had a good feeling about that one. But Junsa Lim in the 67. That one is a little bit more impressive considering he's up to 7th. So it's harder to pass the further up you go. So he's doing really well. Him, Neil Pearson, William Owens, all on their own there.
And so drivers cutting their way through the field like a hot knife through butter in the first 21 laps of this race. So a long time left to go, even in this stage. We haven't hit the halfway mark of this stage quite yet. We are far from it, in fact. So these drivers still looking to just settle down, relax, but they're not really getting the opportunity to do that with 2 early yellows and side-by-side racing still going on throughout the field. I think this is probably the tamest this race has been so far. That doesn't mean it's fully relaxed, as we have a couple of side-by-side battles throughout the field.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now on the screen. It looks like that we got side-by-side with Paul Hill and Jonathan Delaney. This is for the 5th place spot. Got to tell you guys, that 6 car has not been the same since the initial start of the race when we got to drop the green flag. You can see Delaney falling back from the lead on the pole position all the way now under fire for 6th. So he's still holding on to a top 5, but not going the right direction early in this one.
Yeah, no, not at all. But the benefit of this race being 300 laps is you have plenty of time to kind of put the stuff in the rearview mirror, sort of compartmentalize it mentally and say, okay, that may have gone down the early stages, but we still have a very good race car. If we work on this a little bit, we could be golden. Pit stops going down right now. This is a 79 of Dave Hoytsma coming down pit lane after a strong run in the O'Reilly cars just 24 hours ago. Looking to have another good run, but an off-base pit stop here. What do you make of that, Kirk?
Well, I'm looking at the lap count, 24 laps. Dave actually did something very similar, I believe, in the Friday Night Lights race. He came down pit road a lot earlier in his run as well. I don't believe that we can make it to the end on fuel or tires. I think there's a chance we might, but I don't know for 100%. I'm going to reach down and talk to our in-race drivers and see what we can figure out for the next little while. But what I can say is that him coming down pit road, he's hoping to get early run speed now and make it up over the course of a green flag run. And once everybody cycles through, he's hoping that that would help him gain his position in the long run.
Side by side as they head their way through turn number 3 and 4, though. Drivers not giving up, not surrendering in their own little battle. That's Blake Giglio, who's currently squabbling up with the number 48 driver of Tyler W. Hunter right there. Devin Medeiros also getting involved in it as well. Medeiros already making his way through the field quite a lot so far here. Looking for a little bit more. This is a fight right towards the tail end of the top 20. Battling for 19th at the moment is Medeiros and Hunter, as all this battling has allowed Giglio to break away, but these two haven't been able to get off of each other's tails quite yet, as they're still side-by-side at it too.
Yeah, sponsor this week for Tyler Hunter. He's throwing it out to a music group, Sleep Token. It does not look like it is a classical band, judging by the side of that car. My goodness, it looks dandy. If we can get close up to that 48's side profile, this is kind of a wild looking car, especially down the back. Out of turn 2 is the best place to see it. That's where the sun hits it just right. It is a weird looking race car. I mean, it's cool, it's badass, but it is definitely not a classical music car. As you can see, Nolan Hodgson in the 12 coming back out on the racetrack. Look out, little close to that 20 car. No contact. Luckily able to avoid a hit. Keeping it green and clean so far, lap 30.
Yeah, but that car definitely had a unique look out here on the racetrack compared to some, especially that purplish blue number 42 right behind there. You can see the side of it right there. It would definitely look out of place in some situations. Even in Arcadia, it would look a little bit off there, but either way, it's a good-looking race car. We've got some good bands represented here in this event, I gotta say. I'm a fan of the paint schemes as well. One of the things I love about the FLCC world, these drivers, very creative when it comes to the way they paint their race cars. It's always good to have a good-looking race car. I always hated it when I had to drive a race car that I did not like the look of. If you like the way your race car looks, you're gonna want to put that sucker in victory lane.
I believe that's Dead Mouse 5 is the car we're looking at there. Joseph, Dead Mouse 5. Yeah, sorry about that. I want to make sure I got it right. I've never heard of the band before. Dead Mouse it is. Thanks to our producer for clarifying. I probably ticked off a few people. But I can tell you now that, yeah, it's very lo-fi looking on the paint scheme. I like the way that looks. Pretty cool. You can see right there Ella Langley. I think, to quote our producer, he thinks that Jonathan is choosing Tennessee.
I'll tell you what, with some of these musical references that I've been making so far here in this show, the hungover dandelion comment, the even in Arcadia comment a few moments ago about the Sleep Token car, Wikipedia is saving my hind end for this broadcast. I can say that with confidence. See, if there was a Duke Ellington car out there on the racetrack, I'd probably be able to get it. I can get the Queen. I grew up as a rock and roll kid, so if there's a Queen car or a Beach Boys car, that was my jam as a kid. That's the music that I grew up listening to.
So you put it on your peanut butter and jelly sandwich right there as a jam.
Amen. I'll drink to that.
Right. Well, that 19 car has a band I really like on it. That's Avenged Sevenfold. Heck yeah. My dad used to listen to that a lot in college, and he kind of played it for me when I was a kid, and he probably shouldn't have learned a lot of bad words from their songs when I was like at 5 or 6. Probably shouldn't have learned them that young, but there you go, folks. And I got to tell you, I'm looking at a car right now that actually has a band on it, but a lot of damage to the front end. Dustin Hall in the one car, when he got involved in that big accident, his front end's dent in pretty dang good. Look at that thing. Oh, boy. Not a pretty looking race car, but it says Dirty Heads is on the car. Dirty Heads.
Dirty Heads. We're gonna look this. We're gonna look this up so I can make a cheesy reference here. That's just gonna be the motif throughout this. See, I want to do that last night for Friday Night Lights, but didn't really get the opportunity to. So we'll stall and mutter draws here in a couple of moments' time. So
hold on a second, folks. We got a side-by-side battle right here for the 22 of battle for 10th. Alex Murray and Andrew Dyson. They're trying to go for that last little chase point here, the stage point. And side by side right here, you can see the outside line's easier to carry the momentum, but the longer this runs, I mean, gotta say that outside line's gonna be the line to defend in. The 71 just behind him is under fire from the 83 of Benefiel, who wraps the bottom better than any driver I've ever seen. He's able to run the bottom and keep the tires underneath it better than any car. And he's side by side with a 71 right now. Again, that's Queen car alongside Co-Wetzel car, it looks like.
Yeah, I gotta say, talking about Adam Benefiel, all musical references out of the way here, at least at the moment. Stay tuned for a little bit later on. That 83 car was super duper quick just 24 hours ago. Now, granted, the O'Reilly's cars, night and day difference between the O'Reilly's and the Cup cars. So there's one through line that he can take through it, and that is that Adam Benefiel can take to this racetrack like a duck to water. It is really good, the pace that he is showing right now. Even through adversity last night, he was able to get a good result out of it all. So Benefiel, I think a driver that we need to keep our eye on. Probably not as a favorite, but certainly as a sneaky contender.
Caution is out. Caution is out on the racetrack. I'm sorry to interrupt you. On turns 3 and 4, Devin Medeiros. Devin Medeiros was around. Let's take a look and see what happened to the 20 machine. I think it had something to do with Tyler Hunter. Remember, they were racing hard earlier. It looks like Tyler Hunter got a little help with finishing the 20 off. Let's see what happened here. Going into the corner, 20 goes in a little shallower. He's going to have to slow down in the middle of the corner. That's going to get that 48 a run. It's next time by. It's the next corner. It happens out of the next lap. 48's coming up close to that back bumper. He's getting there. He's looking for a spot to pass. He's going to try and go to the bottom. 20 car aero blocks. Make sure that 48 can't get a huge run, but he gets enough of a run to get there. He's going to go down to the inside, right there on the quarter panel. And let's see what happens to the 48 right here. Into turns 3, right there. 20 car and the 48 make contact. They save it, but then the 23 of Harper gets into the back bumper of the 48, spinning the 20 car around. No huge damage from these guys, but this will be the third caution for incident here in stage 1 on lap 38. I think that this would be a great time for folks to come down pit road. Here's what happened from the 23's perspective. Harper, of course. He's just chilling out on his own way, and then all of a sudden you see some smoke right there. Okay, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Kapow, and bye-bye. And there's your caution, folks. Under caution for the third time today.
You know, Kirk, I gotta say, this race is going almost a complete opposite way of the Friday Night Lights races. We have some pit stops.
It is absolutely the opposite of what we saw last night. It was clean and green the entire first 2 stages in the Friday Night Lights, but tonight, in 40 laps, we have 3 cautions. Oh boy. Well, who's going to get off pit road first? That's the question. The only person that this did not help was, I believe, Dave Hoitzman. Dave did not want to see this at all. So he's going to get trapped a lap down, I think, or maybe multiple. He's actually, no, he's out of the race. 14 laps down. He's gone. He's done for the day. So doesn't help him at all. He's done. So there's your go. There's your drive off pit road. It looks like live right now on a racetrack that the first driver I see coming off pit road is going to be Basin, followed by the 17 of Conklin, then Jacob Quill, followed by Joseph Galata in the 99, Paul Hill in the 26 and Jonathan Delaney in the 6. And one car still out there on the racetrack, Nolan Hodgson, who's 17 laps down. He's going to take a wave around most likely.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that even though I know the road course stuff a heck of a lot better than I do the ovals, I'm going to say that he'll need a couple more wave arounds to be a strong contender here in this race. Just a few.
17.
Maybe
17.
about 17.
Yeah, 17. It's not even legal yet, the amount of laps he's got to get. That's wild.
That or he could kick on the Cuisinart. Some rocket fuel could help.
Oh,
The old
Vroman.
Michael Waltrip racing trick.
At 95, by the way, Vroman was quick yesterday, dominant in yesterday's race for the first 2 stages. But poorly timed caution took him out of contention. And what's on that race car this week? What has he got? What's up to him to now? I'm looking at it closely. It looks closely. It says, "I'm sorry, Nolan."
Behold, corn.
So, wow, I hope I heard that correctly. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at this, and I'm trying to see what this is in reference to. Here we go. On the hood, it says Nolan Creed of 2026. It says, and I quote, "I, Nicholas Roman, hereby shall let the great Nolan pass me when he is faster." I'm guessing he's talking about Nolan Hodgson, and the thing is, both of these guys got involved in the same wreck in that big one that happened on the front stretch. As we're going to get the restart. Here we go. Yep. Here we go for the restart. Just as a little reference, 12 car Nolan Hodgson, he normally has corn on his paint scheme. Not this week. That's kind of funny. Here we go. Back underway. And up front, Ryko taking advantage of the top 3 spots.
Yeah, and Conklin trying to jump his way comfortably into second. I said that Jacob Quill was the meat in the sandwich earlier on, but now gonna get sent down. He's got to be a part of the bread now. He gets sent back down to third. Now look at Joseph Galata, maybe gonna try to eyeball a move around the outside all through 3 and 4. Certainly looking for it. He's gonna risk it for the biscuit. Will he be able to make it work on the high side? He will not.
Nope, not at all. Now we're going to get settled in, but the battles still continue from about 8th place on back. You can see right there the 54 and the 6 car side by side. That is for 7th and 8th, rather. 54 is a little tight on the bottom, squeezing the 6 car. Got plenty more room to go, and the battles will just continue as we try to get this thing settled out. 6 car trying to take advantage of those fresh tires on the outside line.
So already having to talk about the tire game here in this race. That's going to be a continual theme throughout the rest of this race. I am sure of it. Dylan Mason sets the fastest lap of the race at the front. The battling still continues a bit farther behind. It's a 6 of Jonathan Delaney and the 54 of Alex Coffey squabbling up. And right behind them, Andrew Dyson and Junsun Lim battling. They're nearly got fan out to some 3 wide racing as they headed their way off through turn number 3 and 4. Look at Adam Benefield stick his nose into that battle as well. We said that Benefield was strong, but certainly flexing his muscles before we had that yellow. Now, though, got to try and show the guns fully.
Well, I can tell you that 67, he tried to send it up there 3 wide on that little battle. Didn't quite work out. You're now looking back here further in the field. Folks just getting settled out. Oh, something happened to Paul Gallimore. What happened to that 11 BMP machine? He went down below the apron. We'll take a look at it. Lead 11, Paul Gallimore there on the bottom, side by side with William Owens in the 30. Down the front straightaway, everything looks fine, no problems. 11 into turn number 1 and 2 on the bottom, trying to wrap the bottom. 30 on the top. Oh, he just got loose on his own. Saved the car. Great job keeping the car underneath him, but he lost a bunch of spots while doing it.
Looking more, it has single filed out in this fight. He says right as the 22 pulls out to try and get the move done around the outside of Benefield. That's Alex Murray in the 22 machine looking for 11th on the outside through 1 and 2. Gonna use that momentum, rock and roll, even with a wall tap to clear the 83.
Yeah, able to do that. That was a great pass, man. Good look there. But the further forward you go, I'm starting to look at one car, and that's that 99 of Galata. Right now, he's trying to break up this Ryko 3 car pack at the front. He's got to be able to make quick work of Jacob Quill, though, and he's trying every other line in existence other than the line they're running.
It's like a science fair. Everybody's trying to run their own experiments, see what works, use a scientific theory in the process. If the outside lane doesn't work, then what can we do to make it work? Galata, he's been experimental so far here in this race. Had a quick race car too as well. That pace in that machine is undeniable. I'd say he's the best of the rest right now outside of your top three that really remained unchanged. I mean, they've certainly swapped spots, but overall, they've been running in that top three really since the get-go.
And 99's got a little bit of a run heading down into the corner here. He's going to dive it down to the bottom. 77 went up to try and block the line. That's going to open the door for the 99 on the bottom. Remember, it's so hard to make a pass. He's got to try and carry the momentum. Oh, he's leaning on his left rear quarter panel. He got clear. Wow. 77 Quill hanging onto the race car after almost getting spun out. Way to go.
Now, this is real scrappy from the 99, who's looking to fight back once again, heading off through 1 and 2. Not able to make it work, as they're going to have to worry about that number 26 of Paul Hill very, very soon. Speak of the devil, he goes for it, looks for it down the inside, off through turn number 3 and 4. Probably going to pull alongside before they exit the turn, with the 99 just keeping that momentum rocking and rolling. So he's going to hold on to that spot for now. This battle, I think, is going to change its shape very soon.
Well, the thing is, we're finding out, we know it's so hard to pass on the bottom of this racetrack. That 99's got to somehow get to the right rear quarter panel of that 77 if he wants to make that pass. But the thing is, 77 won't let it happen. He's running that higher lane intentionally, letting him get to the inside of that car, so that way he's able to carry momentum on the exit and hang on to his position. It's a great defensive line, and it's also a great offensive line if you can get there. But the odds of you getting there, very slim right now. He's trying everything he can in turns 1 and 2. He gets to the outside. He's carrying momentum down the back, but not enough to get there. Is he there this time? No, gets cut off.
99 looks for it down the inside into 3 and 4. He's been looking for third for a while, and you know that he's not going to stop at any end until he gets that spot. It's been a scrappy race so far for the 99. Doesn't get the move done through the turn, but he's just going to hack away at this until either he gives out or his tires give out or he gets that spot. Is it going to work, though, for that 99? I'm not sure if it's going to work with his current strategy. He may need to sit back and rethink this one and try again.
You know, I'm looking at the 2 leaders ahead of this. Actually, let's look back here at this real quick, and then we'll talk about the 2 leaders. Coffee has kind of stepped into this league, and he's shown speed, and I like seeing it. Right now, battling side by side with Dyson. He's on the outside, and Dyson's down on the inside. Driver who could save almost any race car you put him in if it gets a little loose. But up in front of him, they're trying to catch up to the 22 of Murray, who is that 54 of Coffey's teammate, I believe. They are teammates for precision. And I can tell you right now, that 54 is making a move down to the bottom, trying to catch up to the team owner right in front of him. He'd love to be able to follow in the tire tracks, maybe get by his team owner. But he's got to deal with that 41 right now, who's holding tight on the outside. Remember, it's so hard to pass on the inside. He got to go up to the top.
You know, I think the experimentation has been a little bit more common than we saw last night here in the Friday Night Lights series, but it's still been a little bit hard to come by. These drivers have thought about going for the moves, thought about experimenting, and they certainly have done it, but has it really worked for many? I think it has worked for some, just not on a very consistent basis. Everybody kind of locked there on the bottom, deciding to take it easy, have some fun, relax, have a chill-out barbecue, and get towards the end of what has been a very hectic first stage here. I think those drivers will just be very happy to see that green and white checkered flag come out.
Yeah, and you said it worked for some. Which drivers have you seen out there that's able to make that bottom line work out of the gate? Do you have any drivers in mind?
Adam Benefield's been able to make it work right now. He's currently trying to make it work there on the 54 of Alex Coffey. This is a fight for 11th right now as they head their way onto the back straightaway.
Yeah, that 83's been the absolute best at running the bottom. We talked about it at the very beginning of the show where I said that he's able to wrap the bottom better than anybody, able to save more tire than anybody on the bottom. He's a little loose right now, but he's actually keeping the momentum up because of that, I think. You know the phrase, loose is fast.
See, I've heard loose is fast, smooth is fast, fast is fast, slow is fast, turn right to go left. I've heard a lot of different things in the racing world. One thing we could say, everything is real and nothing is real. We're all living in 1984. Adam Benefiel, side by side, adding his way down into turn number 3 and 4. This fight is going to continue. He's been on the charge so far here in this race, and a top 10 spot would be golden for him. But right now, he's looking to be on the doorstep, as right now, that 54 of Alex Coffey, he's not been able to back out just yet. He's not going to back out yet at all.
It's great racing. That 83 is able to carry more speed on the bottom than any other car out there on the racetrack that I could see so far. I mean, that's also the way the car's handling. Absolutely, he's got the handle on it. He's going to go up and he's going to clear him. He's clear. Look at that. What a move from that 83 of Adam Benefiel to make the bottom line work, wrapping the bottom. That's so cool, man. He's a good driver on the bottom. He's one of the best.
Yeah, Benefiel's been rocking so far here in Nashville. It has been a match made in heaven. I always talk about that 83 being such a versatile driver. We're seeing a bit more of that here tonight. Side by side, this is a 41 and the 22. Murray and Dyson, final 2 spots inside of the top 10, and these racers looking to test their luck right now. Dyson on that inside line. Murray got a bit flirtatious with that wall as he headed his way out of 4. Nearly gets squeezed up there into turn number 1. These two go for the jugular right now. This is awesome.
Absolutely, you're right. 41 slides up again. Wow. Another car who's able to make that bottom line work. 41 of Dyson. Remember, he's a wheel man. We talk about him. And now June Salim's trying to get to the outside of Delaney. This is how most people are going to be able to make passes. He's there. I think he's going to be able to get a run here. He might have a shot at Delaney here.
And these two
into turn number 1. Ron, I got to ask you now, knowing that 6 car, the way he's driving, what do you think's going on in that car? He started on the pole and he's been going the wrong direction.
I would say it's a mix of screams and frustration behind the wheel of that number 6 right now. It has been a very tedious first 62 laps of this race. That car's teeter-tottering between being absolutely evil and just not really all that quick. Right now, we're seeing kind of a mix of the two right now. Delaney in 8th at the current moment, desperately clinging on to that spot as Dyson behind him got to look to apply some pressure, even with the wall tap heading out of 2.
But you can see multiple cars are just trying different lines, Ron. They're all the way up there on the 3rd lane up there. I saw Dyson running that line, trying to carry momentum on the straightaway, and it works out for him. He's going to get away from those 2 cars behind him side by side. That's Murray and Benefiel. It looks like Benefiel's making another pass on the bottom of the racetrack. Moving up yet another spot. I think the 41 got the 6 car loose that time just in front of him. He got on his left rear quarter panel. A little bit of a shake from the 6. Opens the door for that 41 to go to the bottom. And now I think the 83 is going to try and follow him through.
As this 41 and 6, this is going to get very intense here once they do start to battle, because I think that 41, he's starting to rise, the 6 continuing to fall here as he's looking for it around the outside. That was a fantastic run as they got towards the apex of the turn. Wasn't able to make it materialize, but he gets a good run on the exit, hang down the backstretch, now pulling out to make it work. Side by side racing between the 41 and the 6 as they had their way through 3 and 4. That's a scrap for 8th on the road with the 83 directly behind, looking to put on that pressure. And it's a 41 holding off and getting that move done. The 6 now falling into the clutches.
You know, you're looking at this race here from Nashville Super Speedway, and there's a lot of ways you could pass. You could pass on the bottom, you could pass in the middle if you do the right thing, and you could pass around the outside for sure. And one thing is that 41 car has been able to do it in any lane he tries. And another car just in front of him has been able to make passes like all day, and that's June Salim in the 67. He was able to get to the left rear quarter panel, the right rear quarter panel of the 6 car and make the pass work. Now he's leading this line, and Junsa Lim is hanging it all out there on a limb, moving up here to the 7th place spot. I'm sure he'd love to chase down Lucas Hoytsma just about a second up the road.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Kirk, about drivers looking to find any way that they can get a move done. I mentioned versatility maybe being a good thing for these drivers to have, a good skill to have here in this race. If you're comfortable enough to be with the trailer park girls and go around the outside here at Nashville, you could be absolutely set to do well here in this race. I think there are few drivers that are standing out to me that have had that sort of confidence in themselves, confidence in their car, to be able to go pretty much wherever they want. Within reason, obviously. You don't want to go to the concession stand there on the infield, but in the case of this 83 of Benefiel, he knows where he can put that car wherever he wants as he proves it, puts it on full display. Adam Benefiel just got a move done there. 4P, number 9. That's how you make it fight.
But let's talk about the big, the elephant in the room, the top 3. Dylan Basin, Sean Conklin, Jacob Quill. These 3 cars are all from the same team, all 3 teammates, and they are out there just stomping the yard. Only one car is staying close to him, and I believe it is that driver of the 99. And I believe that's Bigfoot Chassis Collective 99, Joseph Galata. And so that is the only 4. Those guys are untouchable right now, all 4 of those cars.
Talk about checking out. They are out of the hotel. They've, given the money off to the guy who brought their bags back down to the lobby. This has been a show of strength for all of these drivers. Now, I'm not sure how much we can read into this, only 71 laps into a 300-lap long race. But between Dylan Basin, Sean Conklin, Jacob Quill, and Joseph Galata, there's really nobody that's been consistently there to apply that pressure. I think Paul Hill is kind of the mediator at the moment, with a close-ish margin between himself and Galata, as well as a okay margin between himself and Lucas Hoytsma. He's just the man in the middle. Not really sure exactly what he can do moving forward here in this race, but certainly a top 4. I wouldn't say the word dominant, but they have been the main characters so far here in this race.
Sure has. That is absolutely for sure. You can see on your screen all those cars, how separated they are. That was your top 5, separated almost equidistant to each other. It looks equidistant there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick, what I like to call crank it up here for the next few laps. Let's go static cameras and on boards. You're listening to the Full-Length Cup Challenge at Nashville. Just now completing lap number 74, starting lap 75. Single file throughout most of the field, but there are little patches of side-by-side. You're looking at Casey Graves and I believe that's the, what is that on his inside there? 23 of Harper. Yeah, Harper able to make a pass on that driver in the 01, Casey Graves. Yesterday, that 01 had a great race going, but at the end of the race, a caution came out, and he got spun out late run and lost a lot of spots. Wasn't able to come back to get a great finish, but showed a lot of speed yesterday, and I'm sure he'd like to be able to do that again. He's got a lap car of Nolan Hodgson, who is at least 16 laps down, catching up to his back bumper.
And I want to give some love to that 23 of Timothy Harper. He's been able to put on a good recovery drive. Is bouncing off the wall right behind there. But here's the 23. We saw him get involved in some trouble a bit earlier on here in this race, but able to make his way up through the field. Holding on to a spot inside the top 20 right now and just staying with it here in this race. Hasn't dropped out, hasn't let the chaos and craziness of what has been a somewhat messy start for many drivers up and down the field get the better of him. To keep his nose on that grindstone. That's all you can do here in the early stages of a race like this.
Sure. Try and just, nail down laps and gain as much as you can. And I got to tell you, one driver who's been doing that, Paul Hill, up here in the 26 machine. He's running right now in P number 5, but I can tell you that gap between him and the 99 has been closing. The 99 is really loose on corner exit right now. He's having to chase the car a lot of times on corner exit, so much so that now Paul Hill is able to catch up to the back bumper, and he's running slightly faster lap times than Galata. Here's the onboard. Watch that wheel. He's going to be fighting a loose condition, so you're going to see that wheel saw a little bit right here. See it saw? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth as he's trying to keep the car underneath it. It's a very loose race car right now.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this once again as he heads his way off through turn number 1 and 2. There's a little bit of counter steer, then another. It's not any sort of major snaps. It's those small little ones. Well, those are ones that wear on your brain the most because it's kind of a death by 1,000 cuts sort of situation, both for the driver's mentality of trying to stay with it with a very ill-handling race car, and also for the tires. We got to consider that as well. Concrete surfaces and race car tires usually don't mend quite well. You think of Nashville, you think of Dover, you think of Bristol. The tire is going to get chewed up and spat at as we go a little bit farther along here in this race, especially with the struggles there.
Yeah, Benefield was able to make a pass around the car, or the 41. Able to make that pass work. He moved up to P7 now, trying to chase down Lucas Hoitzma, running slightly different lines. But the further up you go, the more chaotic it is. If we can go on board with the 26 right now, let's take a look and see what he's dealing with behind that wheel in the dirty air. Watch this wheel when he goes into the corner. He's got to go low to try and get some clean air on the nose. He's doing it. But look how smooth he is compared to the car in front of him. Very, very little amount of saw going on. He's not necessarily wrapping it. Oh, look how close he gets to the back bumper. And he got really tight there, lost the nose. And he's going to have to try and chase it back down. Trying to chase. I think this is going to be a good battle for the end of the stage here. Remember, folks, we're trying to get to the end of lap number 90.
Actually, quick little question here, Kirk, before we start to see this battle get hotter. Are we going to rehash the stage length bit that we did last night? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I think I think I'll hold off on that one. It's okay. Good question.
Hey, no touche. But looking at this battle right now, yeah, I think that 26 is really feeling antsy. Certainly feeling antsy as he tries to get that move done. Across the stripe they go. The 26 of Paul Hill. That was pretty easy there.
Yeah, so much for a battle. 99 just let him go, it looked like.
It's the office bun. That was easy.
I do enjoy a good office button, that's for sure. Now, I'm looking at another battle that's going to happen. The 95 of Roman, who is right now one lap down, just got lapped by the leaders. He is getting passed now from second place, dropping back, but look just behind that in third place. Quill, I think, is, he's been kind of around the same gap between him and Sean, but I think that gap's been getting closer and closer the last handful of laps. I don't know if he's got enough time to catch him, but that lap car definitely helped him a little bit, but now he's got to get by it himself, so it's going to be difficult there.
This is a battle with Neil Pearsing and Hastings. We saw Brendan Hastings run into some trouble a bit earlier on here. He's been able to bounce back quite well, holding on to P19. Just got that over Pearson. That fight may continue, though. They may also start to reel in Timothy Harper behind him. In the meantime, though, Hastings able to get that move done.
Alex Murray moving up yet another spot for the 11th place spot. Jonathan Delaney in the 6th just has not had the speed from the start of the race. He had great qualifying speed, but not race speed right now. He's not going the right way as Alex Murray tries to defend the position. Coming to get, I believe it's just about 4 or 3 laps to go in that range. We're going to find out here shortly. But 5 laps to go here. I think that the biggest thing is just trying to hang on to your position if you're in the top 10. This battle between these three has heated up. Now, here comes Benefield to the inside of Hoytsma. That is going to be for the 6th place spot, trying to get an extra point again for this chase.
Ooh, it's really close as they head their way across the stripe, but Benefield is going to have to work for this one, I think. 97, though, looks like he's going to let him by, heading down into turn number 1 and 2. Maybe got to use this as an opportunity to rethink it, but Adam Benefield getting that move done. P6 for that driver, again on the rise.
Up 14 spots from where he started. That 83, remember I said he could wrap the bottom better than anyone else, and he also saves his tire better than most folks. And now the 41 tries to follow him through to the inside of the 97, just behind him. He's able to make that pass down on the bottom, and now the 41 of Dyson moves up again. As we're now looking even further back, June Salim and Alex Coffey leaning on each other out of turn number 2, still side by side. That is for the 9th place spot.
Yeah, both of these drivers currently taking the A train for stage points at the end of this stage right now. They're just deciding who gets 2, who gets 1. Will it be June Sun-Lim? Will it be Alex Coffey? Coffey still fighting down there hard on the inside through 1 and 2, but Junsa keeping that momentum rocking and rolling there in that 67 car. Oh, nearly clears them as they head their way out of the turn, but the 54 still keeping with it.
Alex Murray in the grass, heavy contact. He is out of the race. He is Alt F4 out of the race, coming to get one more lap to go in the stage. What happened to Alex Murray? He was running in a great position, battling with the 6 car. We'll have to look at it when the stage ends, but right now, Dylan Basin has been dominant after the first wreck spree that we had. Him, his teammates of Sean Conklin and Jacob Quill, all from Ryko, able to dominate this first stage, comes out of turn number 4, and Dylan Basin will come to the line to win stage 1 from Nashville in the full-length Cup Challenge.
On a stunner of a finish for the final 2 spots in the top 10 as they head their way across the stripe. Coffey just barely got June Salim there.
And these are going to be, let's take a look at the highlights of what happened there. Stage results, rather. You can see our stage results for stage number 1 right here on your screen. Let's go take a look and see what happened in that replay between the 22 of Alex Murray. What happened to the 22 machine? He's running here, going into turn number 1, way up the racetrack, trying to catch the back bumper of Delaney. And it looks like, it's fine. I think it's next lap by. So we're going to see what happens here within the next 60 seconds or so. Again, he's running a way higher line than everybody else right now. Then he's going to catch his lap car, the 1 car of Dustin Hall, who is indeed a lap down. So maybe this will tell us what's going on here. He's going down to the inside of the 6, tries to go to the bottom. Whoa, he's loose. He overcorrected into the outside wall. Heavy right side damage. Comes down the racetrack, almost gets hit by 2 cars. And the 22, who has a broken steering and front tires, is out of the race. Just like that. One little mistake is all it takes. I did something similar to that at Homestead, Miami last year. I know how that feels. It is not a good feeling. Let's walk right on board with Murray to see how that must have felt. Yeah, the car just snapped loose.
I am shocked that he didn't get hit by anybody else as he headed his way down the racetrack. And Alt F4ing immediately. He knew that his night was over as soon as that car fired off towards that outside safer barrier. What a heartbreak.
Yep. So as they're on pit road, we're going to take a quick break, quick step aside, and we'll be back right after these short messages. You're watching Maconi Entertainment live from Nashville.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Both go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back to Nashville, folks. Heading through turns 3 and 4 now to get ready to start stage number 2. Up front, it is the Ryko pair of Jacob Quill, who has made a pass over, and Dylan Basin, your top 2 right there, as it looks like the 17 has left the building for a quick minute. We'll figure out where he ended up as we get this restart back underway. Through the restart zone, we are back on the racetrack, back underway. Turns out 17 had to stay in his pit stall a little extra longer. So he's got to make his way through the whole field again. I think that's going to be an entertaining thing to look at. But up front, you can see there, wow, Quill got way up out of the groove, and Joseph Galata moves into P2.
It was now Paul Hill looking for third after that slip up from Quill as they're side by side heading into turn number 1 and 2. The 26 of Paul Hill trying to make something work, but that 77 able to keep that momentum up there. Got to pull out just a bit before they head their way down into 3 and 4. But Paul Hill, is going to try everything that he can in his power to get this move done. These drivers with a renewed sense of energy here in this stage, sipping on the go-go juice to get stage 2 up, rocking and rolling.
References are coming in full here, folks. That's the truth of the matter. Wait, oh man. I can tell you right now, single file for most of the field, but that 77's looking antsy trying to get by Paul Hill up here for the 3rd place spot. 99's pulling tight up at the front. But we're looking back here at Giglio on the outside.
Here is some of those drivers of note. It's the 41 that we're following right now. Andrew Dyson currently running in 6th. Nearly gets into the back of the 97 of Lucas Hoytsma as they headed their way out of 2. These 2 drivers have kind of been just stuck together like glue ever since we got this race up and rolling. They've found themselves involved in many a battle. Often themselves as they're wrecking through 4.
One sideway. I believe that is the 30 car William Owens. No caution, staying green. Take a look at the replay to see what happened to the 30 car.
Oh, he's already getting pinched off a little bit. This was a little bit before that incident took place. I was heading through 1 and 2, running fine. 3 and 4 though, the 65 gets into the back of him.
Great save, but he had to come to a near stop to avoid any contact there. Lost a lot of ground. Have to go a long way to catch back up. Looking now on your screen, side-by-side battle back here. 19 of Ralph Hutchinson on the top, 23 of Harper on the bottom.
Oh, and it nearly came to tears as they headed their way down the back straightaway. I'm shocked they were able to get away with that contact It's a 19, the 23, side to side, door to door, and wheel to wheel. They're still side by side, but they finally single file out. That's a 19 of Hutchinson jumping his way up the spot. Now the 23 feeling some more pressure behind.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be falling back. Harper right now on the outside trying to hang on to it. It's Robert Miller in the 15 making that inside line work right now. 19's a little loose in front of him, and the 81 wants to follow the 15 through, but the 23 would love to just find a line and ride around for a little while, or at least try and get single filed out so he can start not having to worry about the car to his inside.
Yeah, let all the worries escape your mind. Don't worry, be happy that you have a good race car here at this point of the race. Already a third of the race in our rear view mirror, and I think we're starting to see some trends emerge here, Kirk. Even with the sun starting to set, these drivers, I think, are settled.
Well, we're going to see the longer it goes. And the thing is, it's going to transition into nighttime, okay? That's going to be something to keep in mind. These cars might be set up for right now, but they got to be able to adjust the cars as it goes to the nighttime. They got to be ready for when the temperatures change and when the lights go out and we get the big lights on. That's going to be happening here in about an hour or so. So just be ready for that.
Yeah, so once that sun sets, the lights turn on, and these drivers start to dance the night away, that'll be when we start to see a different stage go down. You know, Kirk, I've flashed my memory back, harkening back to the Friday Night Lights race. We did see some new drivers begin to emerge as strong contenders as the nighttime came around. I think we're going to see that same sort of deal play out here in this Cup race.
You know, I think that what we'll see, it's all dependent on the way cautions land. 100%. If you want to be able to get to the front, you gotta do a strategy that's different from the leaders and have luck on your side. We saw that last night with Lucas Hoitzma. Now, on raw speed, Lucas Hoitzma had nothing for that 8 car last night of Roman. Roman was dominant all day long, had nobody challenging him, but the moment that caution came out and trapped Roman a lap down, Hoitzma got so lucky that he was in the position he was. He was able to make the pass on Delaney, on Hicksenball, which is no easy feat, and is able to get the win. So it's honestly what it's all about is trying to get to the end of these things. So it looks like something may have happened to Harper here, having some luck, but the wrong type of luck on his side right here.
And so that 23 had a setback early, and this is going to be another one. It's a sideways snap at the turn. The exact same turn where I had a sideways snap at earlier, so it's a shame for the 23. Bit of deja vu there. I think he's been in this place before.
Oh, boy. I think I need to start, I've never drank alcohol in my life, but Ron is making me start thinking about it. Oh, good
I
God.
do that every week.
No, yeah, I know. All right. Well, here, just to pull up our staging, make sure I got it right. Trying to get the lap number 185. We got a ways to go to get there. And 13X, they can't get involved in a lot of incidents, can't hit the wall that often, can't hit each other. Look at this on the front straightaway, though. The 41 making a look to the inside of Hoitzma. And it looks like Dyson is going to try and make that pass. He did. He got that by on the inside, and Dyson moves up to the 5th place spot.
Yeah, so now Dyson feeling good as looking at a fight right now. This is Sean Conklin, who's running up towards the front a bit earlier on in this race. He's now looking to charge his way through. Was just side by side with the 23 and is now side by side with Timothy Harper. Actually, Timothy Harper right behind him. That's Casey Graves. He's side by side with there. My apologies. Down into 1 and 2. Will he be able to get this move possible in that 17? It is still close as they head their way at a 2 on the back straightaway. They single file out. The 17 going to have to rethink it.
And that 17 is just on fire. Remember, he started at the tail end of the field, had a long way to go. He's already up to the top 20. Passing all these cars on the green on one of the most difficult tracks to pass on. He's doing a great job of getting through this field. He's got a ways to go to get even any more, but he's showing the nose every time. He's not giving up. He's not being content with where he's running. He's trying everything he can to get by these guys. He's got a ways to go, though. Casey Graves doing a good job of defending as we go back up here to the front with Delaney and Coffey in the 54 and the 6. 3 wide. Oh, contact 17 back here in the back of the field. Almost wrecked the car. He's on the apron. He made the pass. Almost a huge crash out of turn number 4 with the 42 and the 17. Go back and take a look and see how that happened out of turn number 4. Watch this 17 car. Dive it down to the bottom. He's going to be 3 wide with the 42 and the 01. Going out of the corner, he washes up the hill, makes contact with the 40, with that 42 machine, and they both get loose, save the car. What great driving out of both cars to save it. But, yeah, loses a little bit of time on the 17.
Yeah, those drivers should probably be counting their lucky stars. The fact they didn't end up in the barrier, or either just spun around there as a result of that contact. Maybe you have to consider buying a lottery ticket once they're done with this race, certainly testing their luck in that moment. We've seen a lot of close calls so far here, but it is definitely, these drivers are getting more and more impatient with each other. I'm starting to see that sense of impatience grow.
And in order to win this race, you kind of need a lot of it. And that 99 is giving the best chance he's got, and that is Galata. He's trying his best to close the gap between him and the 06, and that gap has been closing. He's getting closer and closer every single lap, running a slightly different line. For the first time today, someone without Ryko on the car is trying to catch up to the 06 and actually make a difference up front. And it is Joseph Galata driving for Bigfoot Chassis Collective, right on the back bumper.
And so right now, Dylan Basin under pressure for the lead. Galata trying to stay cool as ice as they head their way into turn number 1. This is going to be interesting. Galata has found himself involved in battle after battle so far in this race, so he's no stranger to finding himself in a fight, but this is unlike any other fight that he's been in. It's for that top spots for one of the strongest cars here in this race. In fact, probably the strongest car so far tonight in that 06.
Yeah, you saw the 06 change his lineup. He actually did some aero blocking on the 99 here in turn number 1. Watch what happens here. Does it happen again? The 99 goes up top, not this time. No aero blocking from the 06, but the 99 is trying to carry the momentum on the exit. He's going to get a run down the back straightaway. What will he do with it going into turns 3 and 4? It looks like he's going to go to the top.
Oh, as you can see him a little bit sideways as he headed his way out of the turn. That's going to cause him to lose out on just a bit of time, or actually no, closes up that margin. So a bit surprising as he headed his way through across the line, but it takes 3 to tango right now. Usually just takes 2, Kirk, but we've got a third person arriving at the scene of this party. That's Paul Hill, now trying to stick his nose into this fight as well. Another driver looking at it again involved in this fight. The 06, the 99, and the 26, all covered now by about 7/10 of a second.
Paul Hill moving into this battle is going to be a really welcome sight, I think, for on behalf of all of us watching here. See a little bit of a battle for this lead. It's been pretty decided for the majority of this race, and the 99 is trying to close that gap. He does lap one lap, but then the other lap something will happen to where he loses that time, not able to make it work. But the 26 has been closing and closing and closing little by little, lap after lap. And I think that 26, if he's able to get a good run, will be able to actually make that run to catch up to them. 99, though, man, he carries so much speed on the straightaways compared to the 06. That draft is helping him out a lot.
And he is staying with it right now. The 26, though, gonna be the first driver to really see a battle for the race lead appear in front of him. Gonna get a front row seat to it. I think you'd want to be involved in this battle, but the front row seat will have to do for now. A 1/10 to 2/10 of a second between your top 2. Galata's getting closer and closer, flying closer to the sun after every single lap, but just not able to get the move done. Not really looking to get the move done right now. I think he's just biding his time, playing patient game for now, even with a little bit of wall contact as he headed his way out of 2. I'm liking this, though, for the 99. This is patience that we're seeing right now. A warrior's greatest virtue can be his patience, and the 99 trying to prove that.
Yeah, we were talking about it just before we actually came to this view. He's got a good run here. He's going to try to go to the top. 06 goes up to block the run. He does. And now he's going to try again. He's really doing all he can to try and make that top line work. The 06 is going to come up the hill, and that 99's got a good run here. He's going to give him a shot down the back. Instead of making the pass, he's bump drafting him down the back straightaway. This is a super speedway, but not the one that we normally see bump drafting at.
Bit of wall contact, small little tap there. It's these small little mistakes that are going to be vital. Just adding up and adding up and adding up. Basin trying to defend. Galata trying to get the move done. One driver on defense, the other on offense. Galata, though, remaining very patient. This is composed driving that we're seeing right now. We still have over 60 laps left to go in this stage, so it makes sense that he's taking it easy. But how long can he play this game? At this point, his tires are starting to feel the pressure. You can see that car got a little bit sideways. With that dirty air, he's having to rely on that mechanical grip a whole lot more. He's probably looking at his tires and feeling the grip on that race car and saying to his tires, what did you get hot?
Yeah, he laid a patch. And so we're going to be going back here for a quick moment, taking a look at Paul Gallimore. You can see this battle back here with the 20-car Devin Medeiros. Looks like that battle is starting to heat up further back in the field. But up front, man, this lead is just a little too close for me to want to be able to look back here. I'm so sorry, but it's just any small mistake from Basin, Galata's there. I mean, it's just so close. Anything can happen between these top two. I love being able to go back and look throughout the field, but this is just way too close for comfort, and we haven't seen this close of a battle for the lead all day long. 99's way up out of the groove. He hasn't been up that high all day long.
And I'm not liking the sights of either of these cars, if I'm being brutally honest. The 99, though, able to find another gear as he headed his way into turn number 1 and 2 just now, starting to rattle that cage to the 06. I don't think either of these cars are driving good at the moment, but it seems like the 99 may be peaking at the right time as he's peaking around the outside into 3 and 4. The 06 still applying that pressure on from behind, stacking them up and trying to bring the 26 into this as quickly as possible, but the 99 not letting him get away.
Yep, going down to the bottom, side by side. He dives it in deep. 99 is going to try and pull a slider. He slides up the hill, and it looks like he's going to hang on to it as the 06 tries the under-over move back down to the bottom. He's leaning on the quarter panel side, drafting down the back straightaway for the lead into turn number 3 and 4, leaning on each other inches apart. 99's able to hang on to the outside. It's the 06 on the bottom. It's not going to carry the momentum. And the 99 is going to come to the line, and he's going to lead this lap, and he is clear to the bottom if he wants it. But the 06 is going to dive it down in.
And the 06 of Dylan Basin trying to switch up positions, but it just did not work. He swapped spots, though. He's down in P2, now feeling the same dirty air that the number 99 was feeling just a few moments ago, but he fires it off into the turn. The 06, he may be down at the moment, down in second, but he's not out of this quite yet. That first taste of dirty air, that is not going to go down quite well. We have a fight as well right behind. This is the 41 of Andrew Dyson battling with the 77 of Quill. Quill at one point was your P2 runner. He's now slipped into 5th.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a thing that we've seen all day long. Jacob Quill was running in the top 3 with, and he started outside pole center, and he able to take the lead early on. But now it looks like he's falling off a cliff a little bit. The further into the night we go, that 77 doesn't necessarily have the speed he had at the beginning of the race. Might need to make some adjustments. But up front again, the 06 is not done with the 99. 06 tries to dive it back down to the bottom. But remember, it is so difficult to make any pass on the bottom of this racetrack. You got to get to the right side and get to the outside unless you have a heck of a run and you're able to get down and clear so you can do a slide job like we saw the 99 do.
But now as we get into the final 55 laps of this second stage here, Kirk. These cars aren't as nimble as they were before. They're feeling the pressure, they're feeling the burn, and at this point, you gotta wonder whether or not it is less of a offensive game and more of a defensive game. Hold on to what you can and try not to burn up your stuff right now. These drivers up at the front, still close to one another, still attempting to try and get some moves done. Basin looking for every single opportunity that he has right now, but I really just think that it's maybe time to settle down, relax, walk away from the stage with the top three.
You know, I don't think settle down is in either of these drivers' DNA. They don't necessarily like that. They like to race as hard and as long as possible. 99 slipped up the hill a little bit. That opened the door again. Look at them. They're going to lean on each other. 99 is able to carry the momentum off and cut the line off. Man, this is awesome racing, considering you got to get to lap 185. They're racing like it's the last lap up here for the front.
And this battling is burning bright. Burn, baby, burn. But you can see that contact there with the 99 of Joseph Galata. Oh, as the 06 of Dylan Basin fighting back down the inside. This is machine gun etiquette for these two drivers, going for the jugular.
Man, this is awesome. Now the thing is if he's going to make this pass work, 99 is going to need to have a wiggle or mistake, something to happen for that 06 to be able to take advantage of it. The 06 is showing his nose every single time. He knows that if that 99 wiggles at all, he's got the lead back. So he's constantly putting himself in a great position to be able to force a mistake. And right here, even though these aren't necessarily passes for the lead, he's just trying to run a different line than the 99 and show him the nose enough times to where 99 might make a mistake and he's able to scoot on by.
I gotta say, one of the things that's standing out to me the most in all of this, Kirk, is the fact that Paul Hill hasn't really made any inroads. He's still a half a second back, just there in the front row seat, but not really looking to join the action here. He's just been there waiting for these two drivers maybe to blow apart. Whatever the deal may be, Paul Hill just not making the inroads that I may have thought he would with those two just going for it on each other right up in front.
Maybe Paul Hill might be saving some tire. Maybe he's just staying in a position where he's close so he doesn't waste any of his grip. You want to try and save as much as you can. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just a difficulty of catching these two because they're both so dang fast. Back here, battle for the 5th place spot. You see the 97 of Lucas Heusman catching up to the back bumper of Jacob Quill. Again, that is for the 5th place spot. And that 97, last year's champion and last night's winner, trying to make it work as we got pit stops. Here comes Giglio and also one other car. That's the 19 of Ralph Hutchinson down pit road.
And so now inside the pit lane for those drivers. Mid-stage pit stops here. I've got that funny feeling in my body that is going to be the case throughout the rest of this race.
'97 down pit road. Hoytsma's coming down from 6th place. More and more cars choosing to head down pit road. And I think right now, the winner of this race, I think is on your screen. I don't know which one, but if they continue to race like this, and it continues into the night, it'd make it quite an entertaining race, I'll tell you that. Maybe even Paul Hill can jump up in there and have some fun. But with these guys coming down pit road, they're going to be able to catch back up to them. Let's talk about some that may have already pitted and decided to come back out there on a racetrack. Drivers, like we know for a fact, the 20 car Medeiros is out there on fresh tires. We got to try and figure out exactly. The 97, I think, would be the best tell of lap time. Once these guys are able to get lap times, we'll be able to see the difference between fresh tires and old tires. That 97 will be the guy to look at for his lap time, as it looks like we have more cars coming down pit road, both Paul Hill and Andrew Dyson both on pit road.
So cutting their way down pit lane. We talked about the pit lane entry in the Friday Night Lights broadcast last night here on Maconi Entertainment, how tricky it is to try and deal with, how tough it is to manage. We're going to see that play out once more here in this race as the 99, the 06. So right on top of each other. I think that both of them found the wall as they headed their way out of turn number 4 right there. Gotta say, one thing that could maybe dissuade these drivers from battling at the moment is the glare. We talked about it again last night during that show. These drivers having to worry about the blinding lights as they head their way around this racetrack.
29.8 is the lap time I saw from Hoytsma there. 0.5 of a second that time by, faster than the leader. You can see that on your screen right there. And, you know, let's see if that happens again. The longer this runs, the more we're going to be able to tell between Lucas Hoytsma, Joseph Galata, and these top two. Vroman gets up and out of the way, and remember, he had some damage from that wreck early on. Hoytsma, when he crosses the stripe now, looks like his lap was 0.3. Man, you do not gain much at all from fresh tires, according to this. Makes me think going long is going to be the way to go. What do you think, Ron? With very little fall off.
See, I would say when it comes to the strategy, you really have to wonder, at least from our perspective here in the booth, you got to wonder, so who's paranoid as we get into this stage of the race? Who's eyeballing the pit stops? Who's going to be about as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs? How's this all going to play out? These green flag pit stops, something we didn't see last night. So I'll be honest, we're kind of venturing off into the unknown. At least I certainly am.
Yeah, but when we had those green flag pit stops last night, we saw a huge difference between the fast cars and the slow cars before that caution came out. So tonight we're not seeing that difference. The lap times between the leaders and Hoytsma, for example, who was running in the top 5 in terms of speed, we saw it there. It wasn't there. So I think that benefits the cars that stay out longer. I think that's the case here, Ron. You're looking at the top 2. They still haven't come down pit road. They have a 7-second lead over the next in competition, which is Jun Lim, and then 9 seconds back to Tyler Hunter.
You know, you bring up a good point talking about that pace differential between drivers who had come down pit lane and those who had stayed out last night. That's when we found ourselves in some trouble, and that's actually what caused a pretty big disruption during that pit cycle, the yellow flag to come out. Just really awkward situations and rush hour traffic out there on the road. So I think these drivers will maybe be a little bit happy with the fact they won't be venturing off into the danger zone here tonight.
Well, look at this. They're still side by side, Ron. Yeah, they're in the danger zone now. They're side by side for the lead. All right? They're trying their best. That 06 is doing all he can to try and get there. But look, Jacob Quill, fastest lap of the race on fresh tires. That's going to be possibly a point at the end of the day if he's able to hang on to it. But these top 2 have yet to choose to go down pit road. When are these guys going to come down, Ron?
Ooh, it is tough. You know, they've stayed out for so long that I feel like you have to, you know, just stick to your guns right now. You need to stay with it. You know, you're running around the ring of fire right now. You can't bow out now, because otherwise, you know, what's the point of having gone down this rabbit hole in the first place? If they come down pit lane now, they're kind of going to get the worst of both ends. If it were me, I would stay out, because otherwise, it's tough to call from our perspective here in the booth, obviously. But I think right now these drivers kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, judging from what I've seen in the past, these guys are, you know, they're championship caliber. You know, one of them's a Coke guy. They know what they're doing here. They know what their plan is. I don't think that they're in trouble at all. I think that Galata and Basin have got this thing planned out. They know that they're going to go out there and run as long as humanly possible. They are 2 of 4 cars that are on the lead lap. Only 4 cars are on the lead lap right now. And those cars a lap down are not catching them by much at all. And because of that, it's only going to benefit them to stay out longer. It does not hurt them. It's such a brilliant move by these top 2. And Jose Medina, give this guy some credit too. He knows he's got to stay out too. He's going to lose a lot of time here, yeah, sure. But if a caution comes out, he is in a catbird seat to gain so many spots on the entire field. So brilliant job by Jose Medina sitting P3, 19 seconds behind the leaders, but still able to stay out on the racetrack. And he knows he's got to do it a long time until they can run out of gas. I think that's what they got to do, run to the end of the fuel tank.
Yeah, at this point, you got to absolutely send it. But with Jose Medina as well as your top two, kind of developing into a three-dog night at the moment as to what anybody will do with this pitch strategy call right now. I'll be honest, I'm liking this call from these drivers. Now, will it be tough for them to try and get through fully clean? Yes, there's still a decent amount of time left to go here, but these drivers, they're holding their own right now. They're keeping their head above water, and they're keeping themselves honest right now. They're not going for the jugular moment after moment. They're not pushing these cars as if they have fresh rubber mounted onto them. No, it is composed driving from Joseph Galata, Dylan Basin, and Jose Medina. I'm liking this a lot.
99's just been able to hold off the 06 for the longest of times. And how much longer can he hold him off? Oh, maybe not for long. The 06 got a great run on the outside. Oh, 99's coming down pit road. 99's deciding to pull the trigger. He's on pit road. And that is going to be a big difference. We'll see how it looks for Galata and Basin. Remember, one lap could be half a second early in this. So that might benefit Galata right there if the 06 comes in next time by.
Yeah, if anyone was going to do it, it was going to be Galata. We saw him struggling desperately towards the end of that run. Even before he got that move done on Dylan Basin to take the lead, that car was sideways, slideways, hanging out of the turn. Those wall taps were becoming a lot more of a common occurrence. So it makes sense that he would come down pit lane the first of those three. I think it's still a bit of a shame that he couldn't see that strategy through, but he was able to hold out and hope for quite a long ways. He's now getting set down outside of the top five. Nicholas Roman makes his way up into third.
Yeah, remember Roman, he was already a lap down. He's staying out on old tires too, but he was a lap down prior. So he's just trying to get into a position where if a caution comes out, he can get in a better spot. But I think Roman just came down pit road possibly. Or he just got passed by Paul Hill for position. Either way, two cars on the lead lap, Jose Medina, Dylan Basin. And, you know, all it takes is one yellow flag for all of this to change. And, man, it's already chaotic. 99's already making passes on Coffee back here. Really fast on the outside compared to the cars that were out here for a little while longer. And, oh, my goodness, there's so much danger right here with the 77 of Jacob Quill and the 17 of his teammate. They're bump drafting past Lucas Hoitzma right here.
As it's getting physical out there on the racetrack. 77, 99 side by side into the turn. This is a fight for seventh right now. Quill looks like he'll get that move done rather easily in through 1 and 2. Had to fight for it, but when he did, he was able to bounce up there like a rubber ball, rise through this field like 99 red balloons. As here we go.
Basin hits pit road. This is his time. Jose Medina, how long are you going to stay out, pal? He's in a good spot if he wants to be. I mean, he's not going to necessarily be the only car on the lead lap here now, but he can stay out long if he wants to. Yeah, go for it, pal. Maybe that's your best move. Now, the 99 live right now is exiting turn number 2 as we saw Basin enter pit road. He's in his pit stall now, 3 seconds in. That 99 is trying to catch up to that. Oh, he's going to get blocked by a teammate there. 77 goes down. 99 is trying to make a pass again down on the bottom. He's going to get that done. As where does Dylan Basin come out in comparison? I think Basin's got it by a long shot. 2 tires for Basin. That's going to open the door a lot for him. Now, will he be able to carry the speed? I think so. We'll have to look. It's not close at all. I think right there, the 99 is well over a second and a half difference between those two.
You know, he's a gambling man right now, is that driver of the 06 machine. 2-tire call. That is going to be fascinating. If he can make it stick, he'll be golden. If not, I think the consequences will be rather dire. He was able to hold off a charge, though, from Paul Hill, though. Wins down that side-by-side fight. Still in second at the moment is that 06 driver. This is going to work out either fantastically or horrendously, and there is no in between.
Yeah, and look at this. Paul Hill, Andrew Dyson. These guys had gotten tires earlier, and they are going to move into second and third place with Sean Conklin as well, sitting there in fourth place once Jose chooses to go down pit road. This is going to change the entire look of the top five because of the different strategies, but we know for a fact Lotto's got the freshest tires. He'd love to find a way through these guys quickly, but he's stuck right now behind the 17 of Sean Conklin, trying to find a way through.
He's going to look for it down the inside through 3 and 4. Will this be the spot for the 99 of Galata? 17 still holding his own, though. Conklin not giving up. Never give up, never surrender. He is not surrendering right now. He is not giving up by any means. Still battling through 1 and 2. I think the 99 expected that 17 to just lay his arms down a little bit quicker than he did. He finally clears him heading out of turn number 2, but that took a lot more effort than the 99 probably thought he would have to put in.
No, it made sense exactly why. I mean, he's got a long way to go, but these guys want to hang on to their positions. They know that the tire differential is off. Lim leaning on the door of Hoytsma there out of turn 4. These two are battling hard for this position back here.
This is frantic stuff here as we get towards the end of this stage. 97 of Hoytsma dives it off into 3 and 4. Nearly drifts up into the side of the 67 machine of Judsal Lim, who clears him heading out of the turn across the stripe right there. The battling continues inside the top 10. The battling continues throughout this field. I think this pit cycle, what it has brought along here, Kirk, is a very competitive portion of this race. These drivers have not been afraid to get the moves done.
True. I'm looking up here at the 40 car. I am stunned he's still out there on the racetrack. You know, Jose Medina, he's kind of been in the back of the field all day long. But that 40 car all of a sudden now has got a lot of speed. He's on old tires, but he's trying to go long. Is he hoping for a caution? That would get him a top 19 cars are on the lead lap right now. But the 40 car choosing to stay out this long is puzzling to me. Looking at the gaps between the cars, I mean, it's kind of a unique storyline here with the 40 car. You know, I think I might go down there and talk to him if I have a shot. He's down there talking in his own voice chat right now. I might go down there and see what's going on with the 40. But yeah, kind of an interesting choice. Let's see, is he going to come down? Nope, he's still out there on the racetrack. Oh, there he goes. Now he comes down. Yes, exactly. So at that point, Jose Medina choosing to sacrifice the lead, giving it up to Dylan Basin. And he led a lot of laps, though. Got to give the 40 some credit. He's got some laps led on his docket now, which some people really like to have. So good for him.
Yeah, and he was going the distance, so although he did not make it to the end of this stage, don't think anybody reasonably could. Medina gave it the old college try as we headed our way through the second stage. That's all that matters, so definitely some praise worth being levied towards that number 40 driver. May have changed his night. We'll have to see where he exits at, as Nicholas Froman also came down pit lane just then in that number 95 machine. So a duo of pit stops going down. There you can see Medina exiting out there, of course, just been able to put a lap down to your leader of Basin. I am shocked that 06 hasn't dropped off like a rock, I'll be honest here, Kirk. That 2-tire call, definitely bold, but it seems like it's worked out so far. So maybe a gambling man, but looks like he's a successful man.
Not too much shocked over here, actually, to be honest with you. I mean, based on what we saw, he has the fastest car out of these guys. He's been leading most of this race. Him and his team were dominant early. And also, we know that the fall off for these cars was very small. Very small fall off. And so 2 tires, brilliant idea. I mean, you go as long as you can, run 2 tires, and use the best that you can here. And I think that's what's going to make his plan work. Galata is catching up to Paul Hill. He just got by Andrew Dyson for 3rd place. He's on his way trying to chase down that 26 machine. But Dyson now hanging on to, looks like that would be 4th place. But he also got the 40 car Jose Medina, who just got out on fresher tires than anybody right behind them, so that might cause a little bit of a stir if he does push that 40 car a little harder.
And that may shake things up just a little bit, as that's wall contact for sure. Heading out of the turn as a 99 impacting the barrier there. Those wall taps for the 99 have been common. I mentioned the struggles that he was having before he grabbed the race lead. That dirty air in the 99 has just basically been like a peanut butter and cyanide sandwich. It has not been running well. The benefit is these next-gen cars are very, very tough. So those bits of wall contact, they certainly lose you some momentum. It doesn't make the other side of the car look pretty. But in terms of affecting the handling, you're going to have to pancake the wall for it to have any sort of ill effect.
You're absolutely right. You really got to hit it really hard at the worst possible angle for it to really hurt the cars. I've said it every single week this year. I'm going to say it again. If they hit the wall, these cars are still tanks. They can take it. They can take it. Until iRacing decides hitting the wall is bad, then, we're still going to keep seeing it. That is for sure.
Is it bad?
Yeah, I think it's bad. Absolutely. You do not want, like in real life, if you hit the wall that hard, your car might not have anywhere near a correct, like the right rear tolling would get bent so easily. Even with such a little wall contact, it throws it off. Millimeters change. But in the sim, you hit the wall, you keep going. It doesn't change much at all. So it's bad because it teaches that the wall can be used in a and not in a good way. I mean, still it's there, and he hits the wall more than most, but it's not on purpose necessarily, but he knows it's not going to kill the car. If there was a fear of the car getting killed, it wouldn't happen as often.
I always thought that hitting the wall was a positive interaction. You make some friends with a safer barrier, you get to know the record drivers, so hey, if you're driving through that area where the racetrack's at and your car breaks down, you know who you can hire as a tow truck driver. That's a good mindset to think about hitting the wall at your local short track. Don't take that seriously at all. If anyone takes that seriously, they're going to wind up in the hospital. But no, obviously, that wall contact going to hurt out these drivers if it is repeat offenses. The problem that I have seen with some is been repeat offenses. There's been a couple of drivers so far here in this race, Kirk, that have hit the wall a decent amount. That's bad for many reasons. The car's eventually going to feel the pain after a while, but your incident points are going to feel the pain after a while as well. Pick up 13x of those, and you're in trouble.
Trying to get to lap 185. You can see we're now completing lap 172. Got a ways to go, but once we hit stage 2, the real race begins. Trying to get to the end of lap 300 to decide who might be the winner here in this 500 miler, I believe, just to make sure I got it. Might be a 400 miler. Let me make sure I got that right. I believe it is a 400 miler there. Sorry, Battle of the Bands 400 here at Nashville. Gotta say, with the amount of time that we got left, I don't see very much changing up front, but Andrew Dyson and Sean Conklin are starting to get closer to each other, the 17, and also the back bumper of Dyson, which is about 0.6 in front of him. I think that 17 is trying to chase down the 41.
That I think he maybe is doing. The 17 of Sean Conklin. I mean, Kirk, you can speak at a pretty decent length about the driver that he has been so far here in this campaign, as you're the guy who's usually in the booth for these. But I know just from my time popping into these shows from time to time so far this season, he's always been up towards the front, and he's towards the front of those point standings for a good reason as well. He's quick. Very, very quick driver there.
But look at the times. My God, they are identical. These cars are running the same exact dang lap times. I mean, the tires are supposed to wear out. The cars are supposed to, have to find grip elsewhere. It seems like this track's just not really giving us what we normally expect here at these type of races. Tires aren't wearing out. Cars aren't, what we saw in Charlotte, we're not seeing here, where the actual tires can wear out. It's just not happening. And Dyson here running identical lap times to the 17 tells me a lot. But look at Gulata right here trying to catch up to second place. And, I mean, the amount of laps between them, can we pull up the last lap these guys came down pit road real quick, or the amount of laps they have on their tires in the big leaderboard? Because that would tell you the story here. Even though Paul Hill came down pit road on lap 139, and Joseph Galata came down pit road well over 10 laps later on lap 152, they're still running near identical lap times. That should not happen.
You know, I did say...
Whoa, he was so loose. Holy cow, off turn 4. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ron. That car was sliding left and right. He had to turn the wheel both ways to try to save that car.
Yeah, so a wiggle in both directions there from Galata. About as nervous as pudding is. Look at that steering wheel there, having a saw at it. That is unbelievable. Oh, that car is just looking bad at the moment here. That number 99, especially in the dirty air, it has been a sick race car. Now, that's really been the case for many a driver, but those wall contacts are becoming more of a common occurrence. And I don't think he's been able to get with down with the sickness of his race car in the dirty air, at least recently. Certainly after that pit stop, it's been a real struggle.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, Ron, you would agree, Ron, if you got 12 lap fresher tires than somebody out there on a racetrack, you'd expect that you'd be able to run faster than cars on 12 lap older tires. That's how racing normally operates. You're faster on fresher tires. We're not seeing that right now. That's the lesson the whole field's got to learn. And that means the only way you can get to the front right now is having a hell of a setup underneath you, a hell of a driver in the driver's seat. And the odds of you making that pass are very slim, even with both of those things on your side. The 17 car, Sean Conklin, sitting in P5 right now, and the 77, his teammate, running in P6. These guys were second and third for the beginning part of the first stage, and that's where they ended up, 1, 2, 3. But this time, both of those cars aren't having the same speed they had. They lost the track position on one of them on a restart, and the other one had to drive through the whole field to get back up to fifth. But the difference is the moment you get up towards these fast guys in the front, they're not having very much luck getting by anybody. And I think that's not the driver's problem. I don't even think really it's the track's problem. It's the tire and it's the car.
You know, the clean air has been so vital here. Get that track position, and it seems like your car is fine. You get stuck in the malaise of some pretty hard battling, get caught up in somebody else's dirty air, and forget about it. The pace just starts falling away from you. You go on a free fall once you get back there, and from there, it is pretty much just game, set, match.
I watched racing for a long time, and I just got to say, this is the type of racing that makes things a little worse. And it's not the driver's fault. Again, it's not even the league's fault. It's iRacing themselves not making these things work the way they're supposed to. It's a little sad. Knowing that we got the new tire models, it might take some time for them to put them in. Hopefully they do. It just takes time.
You know, see, I would usually join
26. Yeah, that would have bent the rear toe link. That hit absolutely in real life. It doesn't happen here.
You know, gotta love the iRacing Next Gen is an absolute tank. See, I will say, I would join in this regard. However, iRacing still, I'm still on their paid docket until I get paid for the Coke 600 broadcast a couple of weeks ago. Until then, iRacing's the best service in the world.
All right. Well, I got to tell you right now, you got a side-by-side battle on your screen as we're coming to the white flag in the stage. Dason has crossed the stripe to be able to get there, and Paul Hill and Galata are really close to each other, but so are the 97 and the 83. Side-by-side back here for an extra stage point, 8th and 9th, but as well, 83's loose. He's up into the outside wall. He's wrecked. He's hit the right side, and that will definitely, if that doesn't kill the car, I don't know what will. That was horrible. But crossing the line, Dylan Basin will win the stage. Paul Hill will take second. Joseph Galata will hang on to third. And the rest of the field cross the stripe now. And will Benefield get a point? Yes, he will, just barely. With a broken car. I mean, that car can't be perfect after that hit. That was a huge hit to the outside wall, Ron. And here are your stage 2 results on your screen. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick step aside after we take a look at the replay of the 83 of Benefield. Let's take a look here and see how that 83 was able to get one extra stage point there. Side by side with Lucas Hoitzman. Loose on the bottom, overcorrects, locks it up. Heavy right side damage. The car gets lifted up off the ground, but he was able to hang on to a top 10 spot to get 1 point for his chase run. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and take a quick step aside. We'll be back for the start of the final stage here from Nashville. You're watching Maconi Entertainment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi's Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, folks. Again, full-length Cup Challenge here from Nashville. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our top 10 runners right now, currently live. You're going to see it up here on the top left of your screen. It is kind of an odd situation after pit stops. Dylan Basin was able to hang on to it as Paul Hill, Galata Conklin, Dyson, Delaney, Quill, Lim, Hoitzma, and Coffey are your top 10 coming down to get 111 laps to go when we get the green flag. Now, Ron, we've saw 2 stages. Who's your pick to win today?
I feel like it has got to be Dylan Basin. Like, it feels like a boring, predictable pick, but it's hard to bet against the man who's been oh so quick so far here in this race. Oh so quick and oh so dominant at that. Although the number 99 was able to get a move done on him earlier, I don't know, it's just been a little bit streaky from the 99. I haven't been able to buy it, but he's still standing, but so is that 06.
All right. Well, here we go through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to get that restart. Lap number 111 to go. We're going to be getting it here. And we're going to see a pit stop probably halfway through this stage. We'll see how it works. I'm guessing folks going to run it to the end of the tank. Through the restart zone when they get there. Outside line is the control car. You're going to see that line pop up right there. And a great jump for the outside line. 17 and the 06 are able to clear Paul Hill. And the 2 teammates now lead the way here from Nashville. Oh, there goes Dyson. What a soul. He's lost it into the grass. He's going to try and save the car, get it off the wall. He sure did. What a drive.
Oh.
That's a highlight of the race for me. Holy cow, that 41 car, keeping the car off the inside wall. That was a miracle. A hell of a drive from a hell of a driver.
Now, that was a miracle of miracles. How in the hell did he keep that car going in a straight line? Granted, his tires have probably been turned into rectangles, and he turned that car into a lawnmower, but that was incredible. Speaking of incredible, we've got some incredible racing all throughout this pack. These drivers looking to make hay while that sun is still just barely shining here in Nashville. That's Galata trying to go for it once again on Sean Conklin. That's the fight for second, Kirk.
Yeah, he's diving it in. He's doing all he can. He knows that track position matters, and it's hard to get it back the longer the run goes. 99's doing it on the top lane right now, trying to carry that momentum. It looks like it might work out in his favor. He's going to move into second place, and now the teammate of Dylan Basin behind him, Conklin, will have to settle for third. As Paul Hill, I got to say, Paul Hill has been like the quiet guy in the back waiting for his moment to get there. And I like seeing that. You know, Paul, he's not making a lot of noise right now, but he's riding, it feels like. It doesn't feel like he's not losing ground. He's not necessarily gaining it either. He's just cruising.
As you can see, another sideways snap there in the back. A shot. That was the 54 of Alex Coffey. That was sideways, slideways as he headed his way out of turn number 2. It's the exits of these turns that have been getting at these drivers here. Turn number 2 caught out many drivers. Caught out Andrew Dyson on that restart. That's caught out Coffey just then. Thankfully, though, avoids a trip through the grass. Keeps it going. Slotted in 11th right now. We right on board with that driver, but hoping for a couple less code brand moments heading onto the backstretch.
Man, oh man, I can tell you, looking at throughout this whole field, it's mostly single file, but every lap it seems somebody hits the outside wall, and the car's still rolling just fine. 41 has caught the tail of the field, by the way. Gotta tell you, 41 and the 83 of Benefield and Dyson, man, they got their work cut out for them for the rest of this race. They got to pass a lot of cars if they want to get a good finish today. Something's wrong with the 83, though. I mean, last night we saw a problem with Benefield at the very beginning of the race. His brake pedal faceplate fell off. It was a 3D printed thing, and apparently something broke on the back of it to where he couldn't brake right. And he lost a lot of time from a top 10 spot, dropped back outside of top 10, and drove back to get 6th at the end of stage 1 yesterday. Something must have gone wrong with the 83 from whenever he hit the wall right at the end of that stage again. 83 looks like he's got some really bad damage in that vehicle right now.
That car's not looking race ready at all. Not looking race efficient for sure. With 105 laps left to go, though, Kirk, I feel like there's very few race cars out here on the track that are completely factory fresh. They've got their war wounds so far here in this race, that is for certain.
Yeah, I'm trying to look on the cars themselves to see like if that car has the toe knocked out. As we're looking on board right now, you can see the 71 trying to make a pass on the 97 to the inside. Benefield's toe looks natural. Looks like his wheel's straight. But back here, yeah, these guys are... it's Hoytsma's race here to continue to have a good run. Remember, he won a championship last season in a different format than what we're running this year. He's kind of got something to prove. Maybe he can win in both formats. And someone gets up into the wall. That's Quill. 6 car has to avoid the contact. Dives down to the bottom. They're still side by side. This again is for the 5th place spot.
Squabbling up the 6 of Delaney, who started off this race on such a sour note. Maybe looking to end this race off in the way that it started, not with running wide through 1 and 2, but making his way towards the top and being there in the top running positions. Although it was unsuccessful, and Jacob Quill is in P5 right now, I think Delaney has I don't know why, I'm feeling the tides shift for that number 6 car. I think it may come alive in the night.
Maybe that's it. We saw it in the Coke 600. That car was set up for nighttime. So now that we're starting to get dusk into the nighttime, I think that 6 car will start showing more and more speed like we saw at the very end of the Coke 600. He didn't lead that much in the Coke 600 up until the end of the race when it got dark. So maybe you got a point here, Ron. I think that 6 car may be in a good position to try and win this race in the dark.
Yeah, I think if you can play the hand that you are dealt with very, very well, if you set your car up for the night, it'll come alive at the end. And as the old racing adage goes, Doesn't matter where you're running throughout this race. It just matters that you lead that final lap, although the 6th is feeling some pressure. Side by side with Junseo Lim and Jonathan Delaney through turn number 3 and 4. Just as we were singing the praises about Delaney feeling strong and looking to end this race off on a good note with a car that may come alive in the night. Feeling some pressure there in that battle for 6th and 7th with that number 67 car right behind.
Yeah, it's funny. Battling for 6th and 7th with the 67. You know, the younger generation will get a kick out of that.
Gen Alpha will have a field day.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Okay. But the further, I don't even know what Gen Alpha would really think about it. But back up here to the back of the field. Holy cow, we all get Paul Gallimore. Paul Gallimore, something with the 11 car just happened really bad. Not something worth of a replay, but he kind of had a huge checkup. Oh, contact behind him. There goes Harper, a little loose after contact with the 1. He's still loose, still sliding. More contact with the 20 car of Medeiros. He saves the race car as others try to take evasive maneuvers to avoid him. What a job to avoid all those incidents right there. That was real sketch. As the 99 now in second place still tries to close the gap on base, and we saw them racing for the lead for a long time in the last stage. I think we might just get a repeat of what we saw before. Now, will the 99 choose to stay out longer? I think that's going to have to happen.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what these drivers will have to do in the final 96 laps of this race here in Nashville. In the final 150 miles of this race, a race that's already seen quite a lot from incidents in the opening stage, strategy taking a hold in the second. You know, Kirk, I think it's, that is real trouble for the 23.
Yeah, something happened again. Let's take a look and see what exactly happened here to Harper. Remember, he was loose earlier, probably overcooked his tires a little bit. When you slide, they get really, really, really bad, but not under regular conditions. Here we go, 23 closing up on Zodiac. Through turns 1 and 2, what happens here? Goes up to the outside, looks natural, looks fine. No problems yet. Tanner Marty's closing in. 23's a little loose, but not bad. Still no problems at all as Marty closes in even further. What does Harper do here? He's getting close to the 37. No, he's just going to get loose, I think. No, next lap. We went too far back then. Let's keep it going then. All right. All right, yeah, he just got loose all on his own. Slip, the racetrack. Slammed on the brakes, saved the race car. Great job to avoid hitting anybody. And something happened to Paul Gallimore. What happened to the 11 machine? Let's take a look at it.
Oh, and drifts wide
groove.
Bad through turn number 4 there.
I don't think that was it, though. I think there may have been more. Let's see. You got Dustin Hall on the bottom, and the 11. The 11 goes way up out of the groove. Arcs it down. It could get loose here if you're not too careful with that. I think that looks fine. Oh, he just went off the pace. Yeah, he just went straight down pit road. One of the access roads. He didn't hit anything. Gulada's trying everything he can to try and catch up to the back bumper of Basin. He's got a large amount of time to make that work for him, so patience can possibly be his virtue right now. Trying to make the outside line work, but third place of Sean Conklin has just been riding back about a second behind those two. Not necessarily closing the gap that much either, but the 99 is trying everything. He really likes the outside line, and I think that's the only line he can really compete with Dylan Basin for right there.
For the 06 of Dylan Basin and the 99 of Joseph Gulada, this entire race has been just a game of cat and mouse being conducted at high speed. As you can see, another bit of wall contact there from the 99. These drivers know these cars are tanks, and they're just using them at every single opportunity. The 99 still within striking distance of that 06 machine. Dylan Basin holding on to that race lead for now, holding on to the clean air, which is oh so valuable here at Nashville. That 99, he's been the only driver to really be a thorn in the side for that 06. Now, has it been sustainable speed? I wouldn't say so. At sometimes has been very unsustainable, and that car is struggling bad in the dirty air. But we know that he has got some underlying speed in that machine. Joseph Galata, maybe the only driver that could challenge Dylan Basin for the win in this race.
That we've seen so far, you're absolutely right, Ron. Lim, they're on the top side, under fire from Hoytsma on the bottom in the 97. This is for the 7th place spot. Hoytsman dives it down deep, does a little slide job up the hill with the 67, do an under-over move. Tries it, he gets down there, but 97 able to hang on to the position.
Yeah, so two interested drivers battling in that little fight there between Lucas Hoytsma and Junso Lim. Very interested drivers all throughout this field, and here's another gaggle of them right now. We're following the 54 machine right now. That's Alex Coffey. Coffey started off this final stage with a bad sideways snap, but he's been able to since reel it back in. Then the coattails of the 71 had a bad moment there, smacked the wall heading out of turn number 4. Got to lose out on a spot and not much else.
Whoa, he got spun. There goes the 71 into the outside wall. Queen is done for the day. Broken right front suspension. Got contact with Brandon Hastings in the 81. Up out of the groove. Look out the rest of the field as we stay green. What happened between those two cars?
Yeah, we're going to have to see the replay, several angles of it here. There was a bit of contact. I think after that, he was already running about nervous as here came Brandon Hastings, and there's the contact hanging down to the turn. Sensed there was an opportunity, saw that window was open, and tried to go for it. Unfortunately there for Brandon Hastings. It's a contact that sends the 71 up into the fence. And when he goes to bed here tonight, he'll be thinking, Mama, I just killed a man.
Well, I don't know about that, but he's definitely not going to be happy. 71's not happy at all with him.
He didn't put a gun against his head, at least.
Okay, I get. Yeah, that's a Queen. That's a Queen reference. I understand.
It's still in the musical reference. It works.
Yeah. Well, it's the final countdown to the end of this race right now. That 99's on the back bumper of the 06, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to try and catch him. He's hitting that wall almost every lap. That 99.
And I gotta say, I'm shocked that didn't bring out a yellow there with that incident hanging down to 1 and 2. We remain green here in this event as we do have pit stops now starting. That looks to be on the early end there. How do you make it this, Kirk? I do not have any confidence in that, I'll be honest.
Not a good idea. You can't even make it to the finish here from this point. I think that he's I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna have to take a look at it later, but he's on a different strategy than everyone else. And that's 17. Remember, he was about a second back from these top two. He's now closed that gap now to 7/10. He gained 3/10 of a second over the last 8 laps or so. And he's closing in on the 99. And it might be a 3-car battle for the win if that 17 can catch up the rest of the way. And these guys are going to run the tanks out. They are going to run as long as possible. And I suspect a 2-tire stop for everybody. You cannot think about taking 4 right now. You're going to take 2 tires. And I think that's the winning move. You got to take 2. You don't have time on the racetrack to take 4.
You know, it's a track position that has been so key here in this race. Whether it be a green flag pit cycle or a yellow flag pit cycle, I think that'll just have to be the call made by everybody. It worked out very well for that 06 of Dylan Basin. I was a bit surprised that he was able to make it work, but he did. And I think everybody else is going to follow in his tracks. Speaking of following in the 06 of Dylan Basin's tracks, the 99 still trying to lay on that pressure, put it on as thick as icing on top of a wedding cake. About a quarter of a second between your top two. And they aren't going to be alone in this battle for too long. The 17 of Sean Conklin, he's been working at it for a while. That gap is starting to close up there. He's only about 0.4 of a second off of your top two.
Yeah, it's closing even more lap after lap. Now, when Conklin catches Gulata, is that going to affect his aero to where he might not run as fast as he has been? We're going to find out, but you're looking right now back here in the back of the field between the Avenged Sevenfold machine of Ralph Hutchinson and the 48 of Tyler Hunter. They're nose to tail, and these guys are running a little bit further back in the field for 11th place right now. He's got to run to the inside here, Ron.
Yeah, chasing each other's tails as they head their way down that start-finish stretch. The 19 trying to block him off there on the bottom. The 48 keeping himself honest and holding him to that line. The battling for the first 2 spots outside of your top 10. And pretty much on Gilligan's Island right now.
Well, Paul Hill's closing in on the battle for the lead as well. It is not over yet. The top 4 are going to be all under a blanket here very shortly, it looks like. And the odd man out, Jacob Quill, currently sitting 2.5 seconds behind the leader. Not a part of the battle. But these guys, they are converging on each other. Now Paul Hill's around a second from the lead. Oh, man, right there you saw the 99 hit the wall hard again.
Yeah, see, it's the wall contacts that are worrying me because they keep getting heavier for that 99. It started off as a graze, then a tap, then a hit. Now we're getting into slams. Not full-on body slams and not knocking the wall down quite yet. But it's getting a little bit ugly there for the 99. I'm not liking the other trend of how things go for him here. But if anything is to go off of what we saw in that...
every lap.
Yeah, if there's anything to go by what we saw in that second stage, he was hitting the wall, the handling was starting to get worse, and then he took the race lead. So maybe it's just a good luck charm for that 99 of Galati. He needs to hit the wall a couple of times to get that good rub of the green.
No, I don't think that's okay. You know, I don't think that's okay. You can't hit the wall every single lap. I mean, let's watch it again. Is it going to happen again? Let's keep an eye on it. Push him tight in the center, loose, tries to correct it, goes up the hill. No wall contact that time. So now we got a camera on it. Didn't happen. So it's kind of like that one curse. If you to start talking about it, you can't. If you try to film yourself doing a behind the back 3-pointer and you make it without the camera on it, and you try it for days and days and days with the camera, it doesn't work. Kind of similar there.
See, I usually call that the producer's jinx, because the producer's the one controlling the camera. Sorry there, Morgan. We're roping it all together. The commentator's jinx, the producer's jinx, it all works out well. Got a battle, though, maybe looking to flare up between the 54 and the 67 cars. This is Coffee and Lim, right towards the tail end of your top 10. Alex Coffee thought about it heading down to turn number 1 and 2, just not able to make it work, and the 67 did slam the door shut in his face.
Man, that's good battling. 2 dark cars there. You know, that I guess I don't know if that means anything, but they're on the screen right there. 6-7 on Lim, sitting P8, 9th there. I mean, there's not really that much battling back here, but man, that 67 got a terrible run off of turn 4, and now the 54 is trying to top again.
And that 54 been very versatile here in this race, and he's going to use that to full effect.
He sure has. You know, I'm looking at it, and I think that 54 does really well, but he cannot have slip-ups. When those slip-ups happens, he opens the door for Lim to get walking through. You can see here now we're looking a little further back to 19. Again, Ralph Hutchinson battling right now with Tyler Hunter on the outside. Tyler Hunter's on the inside, Ralph Hutchinson on the top. Casey Graves sitting in the wings hoping for a gap to show so he can get through.
This is battling right outside of the top 10 that we saw a bit earlier on. Ralph Hutchinson, Tyler W. Hunter battling for 11th with some drivers right behind acting as spectators. They've been going side by side for quite a while now, but I think this battle may be nearing its conclusion here soon. That number 48, excuse me, of Tyler Hunter, he's been working at it on that bottom for a while, but that 19 is getting hung out to dry on that top side, able to keep the momentum out of the turns. But sooner rather than later, even as far along into this race as we are, those tires are going to feel the pressure, and they will not respond kindly.
They are still side by side. That's such a long battle. You think one will take advantage of the other, but no, not quite. We got 70 laps to go, still side by side the entire time. And, you know, we're about to get to one of my favorite laps in the entire race here. Oh my goodness, still side by side. Casey Gray's falling off the pace a little bit, falling backwards. But the 6 car is crossing the stripe now, and we have now hit 69 laps to go, folks. 69 laps to go. Nice.
I would usually scream in moments like this, but I'm not sure if my throat would be able to respond too kindly for that. We'd probably have to chug a couple gallons of tea afterwards. This is going to get feisty, though. The 17, we thought that he was going to stick his nose into this battle, and he has. Yeah,
he dove it in deep, and now the 99's off the pace. He's not going to get it. Now Conklin has made his way to P2, trying to chase down his teammate Basin for the win here. What a move to get by Galata. Oh, we have an accident on the racetrack. Harper had a mistake, had something happen in turns 1 and 2, and had an accident. Oh, turn 3 and 4, rather. Got real loose on the exit in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Backed off. I think that's all it was, just a quick slide then.
Small moments like that. Nothing major, nothing terrible. Could be a heck of a lot worse. Getting towards the end, though, it's really odd to say with 67 laps left to go here in this race. But it is starting to get a little bit froggy as the tires are starting to wear out and these cars are starting to shift into a different stage. Definitely feeling a little bit rowdy compared to what they were just a bit earlier on here tonight.
Well, now as we go on now to lap 235, folks. It's getting to the end of this thing. Conklin trying to chase down his teammate. Galata seems to have hit the wall too many times, and it's just not working out for him anymore. Paul Hill sitting in the wings. I think that this one, the battle for the front's going to be kind of stay the way it is. But I'm looking on the scoring pylon, and I'm trying to find something on the racetrack that is surprising or something that stands out. Every single week, I always try to find something that's unique on a pylon that really is surprising. But right now, I'll be honest, I'm not seeing anything that really stands out as a surprise to me today. Everybody's running exactly in a good spot. Brandon Hastings, I guess I could say, is running top 10, sitting P9. That's not too shabby for the 81. Hitting the wall off turn number 2 there. But, you know, it's a good day for the 81 if he's able to get a top 10 here.
Yeah, he has been through the ringer so far in this race. So to walk out of it with a top 10, I don't think he would complain one bit. For a driver whose race nearly ended on several occasions now, that would be a very good result indeed. As to would be a podium position for Paul Hill. He's been close to it for a while now and is now applying some pressure onto the number 99 of Joseph Galata, who he's right on board with right now. Galata's starting to fall back. We saw Sean Conklin get a move done on him just a matter of a few laps ago. Now the 26 looking to be the latest racer to continue on the charge and send that number 99 out of the podium spots for the first time in quite some time.
You know, it just shows that 26's, you know, consistency will win for him. I think to get a podium spot, he really wants to get by that 99 at Galata. Willing to do almost anything to make it happen. There he goes. He's going to go to the top. He's got a good run. He's going to try as the 99 wiggles on the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Paul Hill uses the outside line and is able to take third place away. And new third place driver, Paul Hill, sitting in a podium spot, having a great day in that 26 machine.
Pit stops begin. This was the driver who came into the pits the latest during stage number 2. It's Devin Medeiros in the number 40 car. No, that's not Devin Medeiros there. That's Jose Medina. My apologies there. It's the 20 of Medeiros, the 40 of Medina. Medina in the 40 coming down pit lane. He was the last racer to come in during that green flag pit cycle in the middle of stage 2.
And that 54 is leaning on that 97. Oh, 97's loose. Had the air taken off the spoiler there from the 54. Got him a little loose there. And now the 97 aero blocks to the top. He's going to open the door for the 54 to the bottom. side by side on the front straightaway.
Fighting back, fighting once more. The 54 nearly squeezing the 97 up into the safer barrier in the approach to 1. Will that strategy work? Does it rattle the cage in the 97 just enough? He gets out of the throttle, and that allows the 54 to clear him, hang down the back straightaway.
Great run for the 54. Great day altogether for Alex Coffey. Able to get that job done. So far, so good. Yeah, I mean, he's always been a really dang good driver, and I got to give him credit for that. Sitting P7 right now, feels pretty good, but he knows right now getting to the lead seems like a far-fetched idea unless something changes his way. And look at that 17, though. He's fast. I think something's changing with that 17. He's on rails. He's going to catch his teammate here any second now. These top two, remember that the 06 has had the last 2 races snatched from him at the very end. The All-Star race. They were door banging down the back straightaway at Dover. He got wrecked. The 6-car Delaney went on the win. Then we think about the Coke 600. Same thing. The 6-car and, the 06 and the 6 were racing at the end of that race. And the 6 ended up going on to the win, and Basin had to settle for the runner-up position there. But this time, he's got the lead, and now his teammate has fallen into P2, and he's going to try and get the win for the third week trying to see if he can get it done. Third time's the charm.
Oh, but he will have a fight on his hands if he wants to try and get this W. Sean Conklin, he's already tasted victory lane plenty of times so far here this season, but you know he's always thirsty for another. Conklin, 0.3 of a second back, closing in that margin more and more as the seconds tick away and the laps tick away as well. Now within 0.2 of a second into 1.
That 17 enters a little higher and then does this little arc down, and that's what's getting him runs. Along with the draft he's getting from his teammate there, he's closing the gap at the end of the straightaway so much. 17 and 3 and 4, though, entered way lower. Got some air on that left front, and it's helping him turn, keeping even with the car in front, and now the draft is helping him get closer to the leader. This is going to be the battle for the win if we stay green to the finish.
As we do some pit stops I'm seeing right now, that's Brendan Hastings coming into the pits, Corey Moore down in pit lane 2. We're getting into that pit window right now, Kirk, and I expect this pit stint to be exactly the same as the last, as now the 17 looking for it.
Down to the inside for the lead, side by side with 53 laps to go, I believe 54 laps to go rather. Still side by side, down the back straightaway. Any side drafting? No. No side drafting occurring at all. 17's giving plenty of space to his teammate. Racing it clean as they head through turns 3 and 4. Still side by side, but it looks like the 06 is going to carry the momentum. 17's going to have to try again.
Yeah, use this as an opportunity to reset. Think about the situation. Maybe use that lap car farther up the road as a good opportunity. Use it as a pick. Oh, he's closing up. Really good mid-corner speed for that 17 of Conklin. You can see him close up that margin right away to that 06. Let's see him heading into the inside through 3 and 4.
Still, I don't think. Oh, he's going down pit road. This is his time. He decided to go down pit road. 17 on pit road. Probably going to take 2 tires. Let's make sure that happens. You see the leader. He's going to scoot out on the way. And guess who's on pit road as well? Also, it looks like that we saw Paul Hill come down the lap prior. So now it's when does the 06 come down pit road? 17's on right now. He's taking 2 right side tires. And does he take the 4? Yes, he's taking 4 tires with 52 laps to go. I didn't think that was going to be the call, but he decides to give it a try. Anyone else going to take 4? I see the 54 Coffee, another driver taking 4. More and more cars taking 4 tires now. I think the strategy to pull 2, we're going to have to see who decides to do it, but we saw it happen with Basin. Basin was able to hang on to the lead by a long shot when that happened. But does it happen again? Well, time will tell.
Now, I will say, talking about Dylan Basin making that 2-tire call work during stage 2, that's not the strongest representation for how the rest of the field could do it. That car is quick. We know it's a quick machine, so doing that 2-tire call, it's a bit of an outlier if we are being upfront and brutally honest here. So I am going to say that, knowing fully well that I'll follow it up with this. I would have gone with 2 tires if it were me, because with 50 laps left to go, running in the darkness, the track temperature is not too disgustingly awful for these drivers. We could pull up the bug here soon, kind of taking a look at it right now. 88 degrees Fahrenheit. That's darn near perfect for race car tires. So if it were me, I would have gone for 2. But again, there's a very good reason why I'm behind here in the broadcast booth behind a microphone instead of out there on the racetrack behind the wheel.
Well, I can tell you, I'd say 2 tires is probably going to be the only way you're going to have a chance to beat Basin, unless Basin does 2-2, which I think he will. Because look, him and Hoytsma have stayed out. Everybody else have already come down pit road. They're staying. Oh, there goes the 40 of Jose Medina in the grass, sideways spinning, coming back up the racetrack, still sideways sliding. No caution yet, staying green. That could have been disastrous if they would have thrown a caution, because most of the field would be 1 lap down.
And we're still probably not out of the woodwork just yet, but because he was spinning his way below the apron, that will not issue out an automated iRacing caution. He may have had some assistance here. Yes, he did.
Yeah, not his fault at all. He had just slight contact between the 17 and the 99. They got sideways, collected the 40, sent him in the grass. Unfortunate for Jose Medina there. Definitely hate to see the 40 car have that problem happen to him. As now it looks like that we got the 06 Basin, pit road. What is he going to do? 4 tires or 2? Taking right sides right now. Left sides, he's doing all 4 tires. Different than his strategy for stage 2. He's staying out on 4 tires. That's going to open the door to the 17, his teammate, to take over the lead, and he's going to get passed by the majority of the top 5.
Yeah, taking the net race lead in the case of Conklin. I'm curious what the pit lane time was. Not just the pit stop time, the pit lane time, cone to cone, because there's so many factors with the pit stops here in the other NASCAR side of things. Not hearing any major difference. Only about 2/10 slower there, which is certainly, some time lost, but the amount of positions that he lost there, I think that's mainly just down to coming in a little bit later and those drivers already having the benefit of some slightly fresher rubber.
The 97 staying out on even older tires. What is the 97 going to do? Is he going to... He's the last car who could possibly take the oddball strategy, I guess. Looks like right now he's staying out even more time. He's going to have the freshest tires out of anybody whenever he does decide to come down pit road. Everybody else is good to go. Hunter Truex will inherit the lead in the 71, but he has to come down pit road again. Remember, he has damage from a prior incident, and that 71 machine will have to come down pit road as well, but Conklin will inherit the lead once this is all settled and done, followed by Gulata, Hill, and Quill. Then Basin running there in the eventual P5.
Speaking of him, there is Dylan Basin finding himself cutting through rush hour traffic, heading down into 1. This has been a very commanding race for that 06. And he talked about the run that Dylan Basin has been in so far this season, having, victory snatched away from him by the jaws of defeat at Dover for the All-Star race, at Charlotte 1 week ago for the 600. Will tonight be the night here in the Music City that he'll be able to break through and grab that victory? I think he has a very good shot to do it, but he has got to execute in the final 45 laps of this race. 42 laps left to go. I'm not saying it's got to be perfect laps, but it's got to be good ones.
There's a little bit of talking on the radio right now, folks. The 71, I believe, had a little bit of a moment, and not much of a moment, but the 17, it wasn't a moment at all, really. They were just jawing between each other on the radio. I think that they were fine. Nothing on track. I went and looked at the replay. Nothing really went down. As you see Hoytsma decide to head down pit road. Now's the time. So now Sean Conklin will inherit the lead, and Galata's trying to chase him down. This is going to be the leader on your screen right now. Again, Sean Conklin, followed by that purple car in the background trying to chase him down.
And so now the fight is on for your top two. Conklin and Galata, given the floor, given the opportunity, they're back in the spots that they, for lack of a better term, rightfully belong in. They've been strong. They've been quick. They've been pretty evenly matched pace-wise. If this does come down to these two, it's got to be one heck of a fight as we get to the end of this race. But we talked about Dylan Basin needing to make up some time. It's only 2 seconds back after all.
Yeah, only 2 seconds is all it is. He can probably try his best to do it, but I don't like the way this delta looks right here. He's got 40 laps to go, and he's only gaining a tenth a lap, and it's only going to even out more and more as they continue to run. Let's see what the lap this time is. Crossing the stripe, the distance between them, again, another tenth. Staying right at 1/10 faster. He needs to do that for 17 laps. And he'll be there.
Yeah, he's got to do it. He's got to make up that time, agenda number one. And then agenda number two, get a move done. Get a couple of moves done there as well. He's got to overtake Paul Hill to jump his way back up into the podiums. He's got to overtake Joseph Galata to have a chance on Conklin. And then he's got to get past Conklin to try and take the win here in this event. Those are three very strong drivers, very strong contenders, as we have seen throughout the night here, Kirk. But I want to ask you, which of those overtakes do you think is going to be the toughest to manage if you are Dylan Basin?
Most likely the 99 at Galata. Once he catches Galata, it's going to be very difficult. I think Paul Hill here, if he holds steady, he's trying. It's hard to pass any of these guys. But yeah, 26 goes up in the wall, and oh wow, he kind of jerked the wheel towards the 26 there. And that time by. That was a little interesting to watch. Does he clear him this time? No, 26 still on the outside. Nope, got clear that time. Yep, 26 had to lift.
And now a second and a half and just one car between Dylan Basin and the race lead. I said that he was going to have to work for it. He had to work for it to get that move done to jump his way up into P3. Paul Hill not yielding, gave him a hard challenge. Didn't get dirty, didn't get messy, but certainly did not go down without a fight. So Basin now in third. That's to reel in a 6/10 of a second gap, between Dylan Basin and Joseph Galata. And then after that, he's going to have an unobstructed view of your leader.
If we bring up that graphic we had up a little bit ago between the speeds of Basin and Conklin, look at the gap. It is no longer closing at the rate that we saw before. It is evened out. This is exactly what I was afraid of. He just now is trying everything he can to try and chase him down, but I don't see it happening. The way that this track has been so far today, he's going to need a lot of speed in that 06 to make it happen, and the pass on Galata's got to be quick, and it's going to be hard to pass the 99 without him making a mistake. Crossing the line this time, let's see what he gained. 1/10. That's good. He recovered well after that. Let's see if it continues. But you cannot have laps where he's matching lap times. He's got to focus on getting at least a 10th a lap if he wants to get there in time.
Look at the time that he is making up there. It's teeter-tottering a bit, but you can see a consistent level of green from Dylan Basin. Let's see what he does across the stripe right then. Lap 267. Another bit of green. 0.08 of a second gained on that lap. It's small gains, but it's gains regardless. I always say when it comes to cutting down a gap, you want to go about it methodically. It's like trimming your nails. You don't trim your nails with a chainsaw. You use a nail file like everybody else.
Look, he's going to the outside of Galata. He got up to the top side, and he made that pass look easy. I guess Paul Hill was the hardest pass he had to deal with. What a run for the 06. Definitely he's got the speed now, but did not catch a lot of time there. He needs 12 more 1/10 of a second gains a lap to be able to get there. He needs 1.2 seconds. What is he going to be able to do? How is he going to get there? 32 laps to do it. He's got to carry momentum, and his teammate's going to try his best to try and beat him. You know that. Getting there is the easy part. Now passing's the hard part. Wow. Practically identical lap times, Ron. Just here and there, a little faster, just around a 10th. Not quite a 10th. I mean, I'm going to look here at the times and try and do some math and figure out what he needs every single lap.
Yeah, no, it's those small gains, which I think at this current pace, he would probably be able to close in that margin by the end. But again, you want to have a little bit of insurance time. You want to have that time in your back pocket, say, okay, I've closed up that margin, and now I have, 10, 15 laps left to go to try and get the move done. Because the overtaking has been difficult here at Nashville. So although it is some good gains that Dylan Basin is running right now, he may want to kick on the Hyper Jets to have a bit more insurance time.
Yeah, he's on the number. He's doing just fine. This time by, let's take a look at the difference again. This time, he is 1.15. He lost time that time. He needs to gain a lap just around 0.2 tenths of a second. 0.377 is what I actually have for the total number of time he needs to gain a lap. He needs to do that consistently. And he cannot lose any time here. Oh my goodness gracious. 65 of Sean O'Brien Jr. just almost cut off the 23 Timothy Harper, almost causing a wreck back here in the back of the field. And that 65, that was an erratic move if I've ever saw one. Back to the front, though, you can see Conklin and Basin. This is going to be the battle for the eventual win with 28 laps to go. You're getting down to the nitty-gritty. And he gained a little bit that time. Not much, but very little.
Yeah, no, I'm not liking what I'm seeing at the moment from that 06. I'm going to make this comment here, and he can push back on this however you feel so inclined. Some drivers like that sort of like dangling carrot in front of them of knowing, okay, here's the next car, need to close in that margin. Once you lose that dangling carrot, you start to lose a little bit of momentum, gets a little bit harder, he says, right as he gains nearly a 10th of a second on that lap alone, finally breaks through within that 1 second margin. But Dylan Basin, as we said a few moments ago, Kirk, he's got to kick on the Cuisinarts. He's got to start gaining more and more time again. It's not a matter of him not being able to catch up to Conklin. It's a matter of him trying to get that move done. It doesn't matter if you catch up to the race leader. If you're farther behind, if you're in second at the end of this race, it's not really going to matter for that 06. He wants the win.
All right, that was a good lap. The last two laps were very good laps for him. Looking at the gap again, that time it was 0.942 seconds between each other when they crossed the stripe. Again, 0.942 divided by the laps to go, which is 25. They got to run 0.03 tenths of a second faster a lap. And he's running 0.07 that last time. And this time, 0.07 again. He's going to get there if he continues that short pace. And I think he can get there sooner rather than later. Now, once he gets that draft, I think that draft is going to help him even more as Paul Hill made his way around Galata, moving up to third place, and Galata is just in a rough position. But Basin is just going to only get closer and closer unless dirty air plays a factor here. Crossing the stripe this time by, the gap between the top two is at 8.4, it's a 0.840 divided by 23 laps to go. That puts him at, again, 3.6. He's getting better and better, but he needs to get there. That last time by, he only gained 0.26, so not helping him. He needs to stay at least a half a tenth faster a lap to feel comfortable about getting there on time.
See, and as we've been talking about this time gain for Dylan Basin, as he actually loses out on some
good.
time there on that lap, we got to think about some other factors that are going to decide this fight. Number one, Sean Conklin is going to be running a longer final stint than Dylan Basin. He came down pit lane first. Dylan Basin was the second driver of these two to make that final stop there. He's also going to have to be the one that gets the lap traffic dealt with first. I think Dylan Basin is able to get those moves done. If it's a car that's not yet a lap down and Sean Conklin is coming around to put a lap down, they're going to fight. But as soon as they get overtaken, as soon as they get put that first lap down, they're not going to really, they're going to yield a little bit more than they would if the shoe was on the other foot. So Dylan Basin, he's going to get the benefit of some easier lap traffic to deal with and probably a better handling race car as we get into the final 20 laps.
Crossing the line that time, what's the difference? Yeah, he's not doing it. He's not getting the speed he needs. That's not going to help him out at all. Staying steady right at 9/10 of a second, not able to close the gap any further right now. Again, 20 laps to go. Gap is 0.917 last time by. He needs to gain now exactly half a tenth a second. He absolutely needs to be able to get there. Crossing the line this time, does he gain? No, I think Basin's going to need a miracle here if he's going to get the speed knocked back up.
Yeah, now whatever's going on right now, it's not really working. I was expecting that time to start to close up with Conklin dealing with the lap traffic. It's just not going well for him. So with 9/10 of a second really seeming like Dylan Basin's absolute limits in terms of closing up that margin, we look at some competitors a bit farther behind. Andrew Dyson, who started off this final stage with a sideways snap heading out of turn number 2, he's holding on to P15 right now. It's not a great spot when you think about it. But it's after what he was going through at the start of this stage, that's not that bad.
Yeah, he got a really loose race car and lost a lot of spots. 15th, not where he'd like to be. He'd like to be up in the top 10, but definitely having a rough run. But Brandon Hastings having a great run today. So is Alex Coffey. Both of those guys having great days, sitting right now 7th and 8th. Coming down now to get 16 laps to go when they cross the stripe. Right now, leaders coming out of turn number 4. Hitting the start-finish line to get 16 laps to go. The gap between the top 2 when they crossed the stripe that time was 0.978. Just around a second between the top 2. And it's not closing. He needs to close a lot faster. And with 16 laps to go, he needs to be running at least a 10th to feel comfortable getting there. And he's just not doing it right now.
Yeah, I'm going to say, pushing back on the statement that I myself made about Dylan Basin maybe having a benefit of some better tires as we get at the end here. Sean Conklin's had one benefit in terms of managing his tires. That's clean air. Dylan Basin stuck in the toe, having to lean on those tires just a bit more to make up the time, close up that margin. It's just not coming up Dylan Basin's way as we get to the end here. And Sean Conklin, as it stands at the current moment, we still have 15 laps left to go, but with a second gap between those drivers, a margin that continues to grow. Sean Conklin may be on track here for a 5th win in the first 14 races of this season.
Yeah, it's starting to look less and less likely for him to be able to catch. So let's go ahead and look at some of the other folks in the top 10 that I think are running really well. Again, looking right here, we already talked about Alex Coffey and Brandon Hastings, but Jonathan Delaney has had a fantastic last 3 weeks. He has gone from winning the All-Star race, winning the Coke 600, and now running P6 in this race here at Nashville. I don't think you could ask for a better last 3 races, except for getting a win here. But he's still in a excellent position for the end of the day here with 13 laps to go. Sitting right now P6. I'm sure he'd like to get a top 5 today, but he is about 6 seconds behind Jacob Quill right now. So he's a long way off from getting 5th. he's going to need a caution for that to work out. But 13 laps to go, 12 laps to go, anything could happen.
You know, Delaney, the fact that he started off this race with a car that looked like, you know, it had tin cans for wheels. If he can walk away from this race with a P6 result, I think that he'll be incredibly happy with it. It's not the win, it's not a victory, but it's still victory in the grander scheme of what could have been a very much so challenging race. It's been tough, but a top 10 finish, I think, would be an absolute Christmas miracle to come out of it, especially with how much he was on the struggle bus once we got the race rocking and rolling over so hours ago. With 11 laps left to go here in this race, though, Kirk, keeping our eyes on the battle throughout the field to see what is going to intensify first. Feels like everybody's pretty locked into their spots. Everybody just feeling a little bit tired. After that Coke 600, it will feel like a shorter race, but it still has been a marathon run here at Nashville. I think these drivers just looking to bring it home cleanly under the lights here in the Music City.
Absolutely right. As we hit 10 laps to go in the race here, I do want to let you guys know that in terms of the cars that are on the lead lap right now, we have 17 on the lead lap currently that are still out there running. And out of the cars that are not on the lead lap, we have 6 total that are 1 lap down, 2 of them that are 2 laps down, 1 that's 3, and after that, everyone else is out of the race, with the exception of Nolan Hodgson. He's 17 down, but everybody else is out of the race. So that's Roman, Benefield, Gallimore, Giglio, Isaacs, Miller, Murray, Matthew David Wood, Dave Hoytsma, and that is all the cars that are currently out of the race. As we're looking up front with 8 laps to go, when that car in the orange crosses the stripe just in front of the 6. John Conklin, not necessarily the dominant car of the day. We saw Dylan Basin lead the majority of the way early on, but that 17, after the pit cycle, took advantage of pitting early, using that time advantage for himself, and he is now running away with this thing. And the only thing he doesn't want to see is yellow lights anywhere on this racetrack.
Yeah, caution at this point would be gut-wrenching. It would be probably music to the ears of the 06 who would have a chance, but I'm going to go off on a brief little tangent here. I still think overtime is the dumbest thing currently around in NASCAR today. I understand having a green flag finish, but even here at this track that had the pretty odd finish in 2024, it really does subtract from the end of a race. Even if the right man wins, it still feels a little bit cheap if it goes into overtime.
Perhaps. Going to 6 to go now this time, my man. I mean, it's got to give these top 2 some credit here. They led this entire thing. They've been dominant, that entire team. And Paul Hill also got to give him some credit. He's been up at there quiet, not making too much noise. It's the 54 leaning on the 6. This is for position right now. You can see that 54 trying all he can, not able to do it. 6-car lot trying to top line. And this again is for that 6th place spot, side by side, Coffee in Delaney. Still leaning on each other.
Oh, and they were leaning on each other big time, heading into turn number 1 and 2. That 6 actually tagged the wall, got squeezed up there by the 54 of Coffee, and he hits a wall yet again as he heads his way out of 2. This is a dangerous game that both these drivers are playing right now.
For sure, but Brandon Hastings sitting in the wings hoping that something happens so he can scoot on by, but that 54 clears the 6. And Coffee moves up to the 6th place spot. Great pass. Battling hard with the 6. I don't know if the 6 is done necessarily, but 54 made a great pass there as the 17's coming over the radio right now. I believe that he is talking to a couple of lap cars, getting them out of the way, I think is what that may have been. Because we're now down to 3 laps to go, coming to get 2 laps to go next time by. Conklin in the 17. Doing just what he's used to doing. Going around a lap car still. As the battle on your screen, not really much is changing. 17 crosses the stripe now to get 2 laps to go. Final 2 laps in this thing. 2 seconds separate first and second. Not much of a battle there. The real battle's for 4th and 5th. Jacob Quill and Galata right on top of each other right now. He dives it in deep.
Oh, he was looking very flirtatious with that back bumper of the 99 hanging down to 1 and 2. This could get intense as we get to the end.
Yeah, absolutely right. 17 comes out of turn number 4, coming to get the white flag this time by, but this is the closest battle we have on the racetrack. 17 crosses the line. We are on the white flag lap, final lap here from Nashville. Man, that 77's trying everything he can to get by that 99 for the 4th place spot. He dives it down to the bottom this time. 99 right in the top. Running up the hill, they make contact. 99 gets loose up into the outside wall. Hard contact. Oh, he goes down to block the 77. Not over yet as Conklin comes out of turn number 4. Conklin will win the race, but who's going to take away 5th? Still kind of a close battle back there. It looks like it's going to be side by side to the line for 5th place, and it's going to be the 99 and Galata hanging on as Conklin wins here at Nashville. Man, look at that 17. He is so pumped, absolutely excited, happy to do it. Battle of the Bands 400 winner right there on your screen. The 17 gets the job done with his teammate finishing P2.
That was 23 thousandths of a second between those two as they head their way across the stripe. That was insanity between the 99 and the 77.
For sure. You can see your finishing results across your screen as in the background you see the 17 doing some burnouts. Conklin, Basin, Hill, Galata, and Quill, your top 5. Alex Coffey comes home with 6. Hoytsma, 7th. Delaney will be 8th. 9th, Brandon Hastings. And 10th will be Casey Graves, your top 10 finishers.
And looking from there, Junso Lim going to be in 11th, Tyler Hunter in 12th, Ralph Hutchinson in 13th place, Corey Moore in 14th, Andrew Dyson in P15, Neil Pearson in 16th place, Sean O'Brien Jr. in 17th, Tanner Marty in P18 with Hunter Trull and William Owens completing your top 20.
Rest of your finishers on your screen were 2 laps or more down. Harper, Medina, Hall, Medeiros, Williams, Zosiak, Hodgson, Vroman, Benefield, the 2 surprises, Vroman and Benefield outside of the top 25. Gallimore will take 30th. And further back, you got Giglio, Isaacs, Miller, Murray, Matthew David Wood, and Dave Hoytsma all round out your 36 finishers here today from Nashville. Now, why don't we go ahead and see if we can't grab that 17 car and bring him up here to our chat and see if we can't talk to him after winning that race. Sean Conklin, Kirk Mills up here in the booth. You got a copy, buddy.
Gotcha.
Hey, man, you just won that race from your teammate there on a pit strategy. That was fun to watch. How was it there in that race today?
Yeah, that was super challenging. I mean, we didn't even lead a single lap until the final stage there. So, yeah, it was definitely tough. I really had to bide my time a little bit, make a few adjustments on the car to get it to where I want it, to be able to run the lines that I was trying to run. It's just really, really finicky. So, glad we got that figured out and we were able to haul the mail on the last stage.
Well, man, you got to win, and you showed that you did really dang well at the latter stages. Your car was built for the nighttime, it seemed like. When you were battling with your teammate side by side before the pit strategy, did your teammate know you were going to come down that particular lap, or were you guys trying to keep that secret from each other?
No, I don't think we were. I don't think any of us knew when each other were coming down pit road there. I was trying to get side by side with him just so that he couldn't come down the same lap as me and I can get an advantage and try to get that clean air. And once I got that clean air, just try to save so that when he got to me, it would equal out. And that's what it did. It kind of equaled out. It just kept it wrapped around the bottom and we took off. So yeah, definitely learned that pitch strategy from other races throughout the week. I've lost races doing that, but yeah, it definitely works out really well here.
Yeah, 10-4, my man. Congratulations on the win. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go for today there, Sean?
I want to shout out Reiko for the setup. Absolute, like you said, absolute ripper at the nighttime. I just want to thank everybody at RFK, all the sponsors. First win in the 17. We had to retire the 58, but we got the 17 Fastenal Bodyguard Ford Mustang in Victory Lane here, and really happy about it.
And I'm happy for you there, Sean. Congratulations on getting a win, and we'll see you next week if you choose to come on out.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. That was our first place finisher. Now let's go ahead and bring in Dylan Basin. He's going to be with Ron.
Yeah, and Dylan Basin now joining us here in the booth. Dylan, welcome in. Second place for you at the end of this race here at Nashville. How was it out there?
Well, second feels like a loss. I just, when you lead over 2/3 of the race and come up short at the end, it's a bit frustrating. I just don't feel like there's anything I could do. If I pit with him, he still jumps me, but I have no tire advantage. If I pit later, that's the only chance I really have. And I'm gaining and I'm gaining and I'm gaining, and then he catches the draft, the lap car starts pulling a 10th down every straightaway. So not really much I can do. I thought him catching lap traffic would hurt him, but it ended up helping him. So just a bit frustrating that a concrete track like this has a lack of tire fall off and it's super drafty like it is.
Yeah, I said earlier on this broadcast that this racetrack is a bit of a geological oddity, and even from our perspective in the booth, trying to decode exactly what could be done here in this race felt like trying to crack the Da Vinci Code. Still a good night for you overall, though. Second place run. Next time out, though, kicking off the month of June, we're going to be heading to Michigan, the rolling Irish hills of Michigan. What are your thoughts heading there?
I don't like that racing either, to be honest. I like a lot of tire fall off. I like braking. I don't like nearly full throttle racing. So we'll try to have a good result there. I know it's going to be probably pretty teammate dependent. And hopefully I'm not at the mercy of a dude bouncing off the wall behind me 50 laps straight.
Yeah, the rubber ball strategies I'm hoping will not be employed next time out. But Dylan, before we let you go and get some practice in for Michigan, we'll let you give any thank yous or shout outs.
Thanks to Ryko Performance as always. You know, it's been a killer season so far for all of us. I mean, I think most of all of us have scored a win, and we might have just taken over that team points championship. So all thanks goes to them, and thanks to you guys for hopping in the broadcast booth, and to my family, and for the founders of the league.
Yeah, and thank you as well for joining us here in the booth, Dylan. And we hope to see you out there on the racetrack next time out in Michigan next week.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, and that right there was Dylan Basin, our P2 finisher. Kirk, I'll pass the mic back off to you.
Hey, Paul, this is Kirk up here in the call center. You got a copy there, buddy?
I got you.
Yeah, up here in the booth, I should say. I don't know where I'm just talking about. That was weird. All right, got to ask you, Paul. You got third place here today. Had one hell of a run, and you seemed to just be there all day in the top 5, but never could crack the top 2. But you end up taking third place away from Galata there and got yourself a podium. It was fun to watch. How was your day out there, man?
Oh, it was good. It was nice to get a run in and not get wrecked out. The last 3 races I've DNF'd. 1 my fault, 2 just wrong place, wrong time on restarts. So it's nice to finish where I feel like we've been capable of, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and get the points and the finishing position.
Well, you did an actually fantastic job, man. I am just curious there. Whenever you were trying to decide when to come down pit road there on that last little stint, was that planned from the get-go at the beginning of the stage, or was that something you just reacted to the other cars when they came down pit road?
A little bit of both. I knew the window of when I wanted to pit, and I was hoping a little insight. I was hoping I could get away with 1 can on the last stop, but I messed up my previous stop and had to take too much fuel. So that kind of shifted the mindset a little bit, right there at the start of that stage. So I had to kind of extend shorter than I wanted to, and go ahead and take 4 tires, which it all worked out. Still got third, but just really couldn't execute where I needed to execute today on pit road and green flag cycles, I felt a little timid on entries, but last thing you want to do is throw a race away, speeding into pits when you're having such a strong car like this. I mean, you don't want to waste it. So, I had to play a little bit of hedging of bets there, but it is what it is. Still got third. It was a great run. Not bad for, a hobbyist, right? I'm
Absolutely.
not a pro. So to finish third behind two pros is not anything to be ashamed of at all. The car was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So
Again, congrats, Paul Hill. That was awesome to see you get third place. And I got to ask you, anybody you want to shout out before we let you go, my man?
yeah, I want to shout out everyone over at Bigfoot Chassis Collective. Of course, Joseph Galata, who finished fourth behind me. Richard Garcia helps us a lot. I know he's not in this league, but he's kind of behind the scenes, gives us input, helps us. Chad Sanner, all those guys that put in the work with us. I know we've been capable of this for a while, and just haven't been able to get the finishes we felt we were capable of and execute. So to do it tonight for everybody over there is awesome. So I want to shout them out, Dent Slayer, and you guys up in the booth and everyone else watching.
All right, my man. Well, again, congratulations on the podium finish, and we'll see you next week back out there on the racetrack, my man.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Paul Hill, our third place finisher. Ron, final thoughts from Nashville.
Well, certainly a weird night here at a weird racetrack. That, I think, would just summarize the past 2 nights of racing action here in the FLCC world between, of course, this full-length Cup Challenge race here tonight and the Friday Night Lights broadcast last night. Just some peculiar racing at a peculiar venue. I said there's really nothing like Nashville Super Speedway. It produces a unique style of racing, whether it be the rubber ball strategies that we saw here, not a lot of tire fall off, some side-by-side and 3-wide racing, sandwiched in some points in time where you saw usual single-file racing. Just a peculiar and bewildering night for many.
Well, that was the Battle of the Bands 400 here live on Maconi Entertainment. My name's Kirk Mills alongside Ron Mounds. And, of course, we have Morgan Cook as our producer tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's show, and we'll see you next week here on Maconi Entertainment for more full-length Cup Challenge action. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you then.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.